his actions, but we doubt he is. First things first, my name is Kenneth Burr. My company is ILEG Technology Screens. The reason why we come hard on this guy at the end of the day, because this guy is he's a big scammer. That's all he is, just a big scammer. He rips off customers on just about everything you could possibly think of. He's ripped off companies, major companies, including the great Stan Lee, or the late Stan Lee. He's ripped him off. And, just basically, just there's no respect for anybody. I mean, seriously, man. I mean, ripping off Spider-Man, the guy who invented Spider-Man, and then going to Comic-Con and selling his items without permission. I mean, just horrible at the end of the day. But anyway, this guy is one of the biggest screen paint scammers I have ever seen. Mind, we bought a lot of products from this guy. We've got a lot of cancellations. There's a lot of stuff on the blacklist about this individual. YouTuber Crows1176, a.k.a. Jaime Fernando Gonzalez. These mixes at the end, as I told you before, these are scam mixtures. Stay away from them, unless you want to get ripped off. You're buying everyday house paint. So this is a Metallica Mix 2.0. Too many times we bought this stuff at the end of the day. We got one from a customer, Metallica 2.0. We got one we ordered from him, Metallica 2.0. He changes the color at will. So let me show you some crazy stuff that we've had on this product right here. Bum, 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 bum. So, bottom line is, this guy went into ripping off his customers with a gray mixture that's nothing special. It's just basic house paint. That's all it is. Let's go over to, let me see, I'm going to pop over to eBay. So eBay we have here under Fernando 1176. These are cancellations that we got from him because you couldn't back the product up. He kept giving us back our money. Meanwhile, we did buy his product. We actually have it here and a video demonstration showing you here. We have an open container. Actually, I have this container right there of this product right there that we ordered. Mind you, this video, we bought this product from him in 2018. Now, what's the big problem behind this? Well, this stuff actually matched a free mixture. A free mix that he made online for free, it actually matched it. As a matter of fact, we got the box called a refusal that we sent his own paint back to him, and we asked him to test it against the other products that he had. He wouldn't do it. He sent it back to us. So that's what happened. So bottom line, this is just all scam paint. So interesting about this paint, it has a different color to it. He changes the paint color at will. So let me show you right here. Let's go over to, let's see, cancellations. Here we go, right there. We got tabs on everything. And you see that label? Yeah, these labels are old. So what Jaime did, he went in, he changed it out and put some summary in there. There's no information about the product in any way whatsoever. There's nothing on the distance though, the color of the paint, what time is the paint can be used outside, and what's the lumen count on the projector, minimum lumen, is it ultra short, they're compatible. There's nothing on there whatsoever. Not a thing. Is it ambient light rejection? There's nothing there. It's a summary, that's all he has on there. And the only picture he has, which he's been using from day one, is this old picture he has from 2018 of just the same paint here and there. So unless you're buying the same thing, because if you're buying that and that's costing you 75 bucks, we tested that stuff already and it's nothing different. It's just house paint. So here, if we go over here, this is the paint right there. We tested it already. So the paint that you're buying, that's a Supreme 7, is challenging right now. So that paint that you see in that eBay listing, we purchased that paint already, and we have it here doing a video showing you that the paint didn't work. And we also had it outside too. Let me show you real quick. So we got 2 containers of paint here sitting on the table, right here. Let me come over here and show you. This is the color of the product right here. Let's go over here. And let's go over to his, let me see, we'll find his eBay listing. Let's see, let's put down Crow1176 projector. Alright, so he's still there. Let me see if he's still there. Did he remove his listing? Hopefully he's there. There he is right there. Alright, so here he's right here trying to get $75 for this paint. Alright, same listing as we have here. He's asking for $75. Now, he claims this product here is something different, right? It's supposed to be tantalizing, great visual images, all that stuff. Problem you have there, Jamie, is we bought your paint and we put it against a 7. Your product didn't do too well. This is the result of your product. I knew we had that stuff somewhere in the video. This is how his paint really looks. So, same eBay listing, same product, we purchased it, cans are sitting there on the table, and that's his product right there. That's what you're actually going to get from his paints. And when we reorder the item and bring it down here again, same reaction. Watch me get it. Jamie, this is going to be your first lawsuit we're going to file against you for consumer fraud. So since I know where you live at, you didn't go anywhere, right? All right, then I'm going to have a process server come beat on your door and say you got a summon for court. In Pennsylvania, you're being sued for roughly about $12,000. That's going to add up quick. The next one is defamation. That's going to cost you $50,000 to $80,000. If you don't show up to this one and you got a history of no shows, this is going to make it easier to basically take more money out of you. So as you can see, this is what his paint really did. I thought you said it gives off this tantalizing image at the end of the day. You said this special image. Oh, I see what he wrote here. He wrote some stuff here. He said this is what the paint's supposed to do. Okay, let's see. This is what he writes in his listing right here. Let's see what he has here. The cancellation. Let me see. Here we go. Here's a listing right here. So let me see. Enhance your home theater experience with Crow's projection screen paint mix designed to provide an exciting visual treat. That does not look like an exciting and visual treat that I'm looking at right now. Optimize your viewing. The screen coating ensures a seamless, consistent image, ideal for movie and casual viewing or something that's and casual moving alike. Screen blend of quality and durable is perfect match for home entertainment setup. Okay, you really want to go with that one, right? Okay, let's see. Whether you're setting up a permanent home theater or looking for a versatile solution for a media presentation, this projection screen from home theater brands is a reliable choice. You really want to go with that. Reliable choice for achieving a truly immersive viewing experience. Don't get scammed by black over-the-counter cinema paint, right? We got your product right here. So, as you see right here in the demonstration, this is the same eBay listing as he's posted on his site. Right there. Under Fernando 1176. I'm doing that's your birth date, right? And there's the product we ordered right there. We paid $85 for it. And then right here on the table, let me see. Bump, 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 bump. Here we go. There is the order right here. Order confirmed from Crow1176 right there. There's an order form right there. Forward message. So the order went through. And then we go downstairs. And there's your product right there on the table. That's what we just in the unboxing on. There is the Crow Personal Mix right here. And there is the Crow right here Metallica Mix. There's your color, your rollers that come up in gray right there. Now, let's keep on going right here. And let's see what the results of this is going to be. So there's your screen right there. So bottom line is your screen paint failed miserably because we couldn't get it to work. So what happened, Jamie? Your stuff is sitting on the table. There's a projector. We use an 1100 lumen projector, 720p model, and we can't get it to work. Your first lawsuit's at the end of the month. Just so you know, you're being sued, all right? At the end of the month, first lawsuit will be for consumer fraud. It'll be a light one, like 12 grand. The next one after that will basically for defamation, for using my face without my permission, all that stuff you did. That's going to cost you $50,000 a month. So I'm going to sue you as many times as I can hit you before they come and get you. So what happened to your screen here? Look at this. Look at this mess. That's your product right there. So for people out there looking to get a solution, this is why you don't go near Jaime's Paints. Jaime's Paints are scam products. Look at this. I knew we tested this stuff somewhere below. Look at this. Look how horrible it comes up. Now, Jaime, you have several options in this before we start this lawsuit. First, we could buy the paint from you. I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to answer very clearly because these can be used against your court. I'm going to ask you some questions, right? We go from there. I'm going to ask you some questions about your specification sheets and your products. And I'm expecting to see the same results when the product gets here. Now, if you decide to go in and basically give us something else that's not what it's supposed to be, because mind, we ordered this stuff before, and you have no change or update on that, you'll be sued. If you basically go in and say at the end of the day that return your money back or whatever nonsense, that means you can't back up your claim. You'll be sued. So either way, you're going to get sued. So let's see what happens. So until then, to the customers, this is what you're buying. And yeah, we had it outside too. We had the personal mix outside. So that shows you how bad that product is. Let me see. So question, how in the world did you have the same labels, this is where he placed the order the second time around, and he canceled and put the order money back in their account. It's the same paint, the exact same paint. He paid $129 for that, and he couldn't keep it. So if he couldn't keep $129 of what we paid for him, and he had to give that money back, that tells you at the end of the day that product is garbage. Here is the tons of cancellations we have on his products. Going to the kitchen. These are Jaime's cancellations. Jaime and Partay's combined. Their cancellations. Look at this. Look at the table. That is unbelievable. That's all their cancellations combined. Jaime just giving us back our money because we couldn't back it up. That's pretty bad. Let's go over to... Let me see. Oh, these are the ones with the products matching. Let's see simply why Crow's website is fake business. Yep, right there. Crow's UB Mix unboxing. Here we go. This is a customer who sent over Crow's Metallica Mix. Got the Metallica Mix and Personal Mix. So this is the Metallica Mix and Personal Mix on the same screen in this demonstration. And this shows you, this is the Metallica Mix, how he made it for free. So the mixture he has in there is a free mixture. This is it right here. This is him showing you on his YouTube channel how to make it for free. So what he has there is a paint, he made it for free, and he tried to sell it to you for $75. Scam artist at the end of the day. And mind you, we had it. We did an unboxing on that product a long time ago. In 2018, we did an unboxing on it. So Jaime, here's the deal from the door. All right, it's not going to be a long video. We got several options. I'm going to contact you tomorrow. When I contact him, I ask you a series of questions about the product that you claim. Like you're saying it does all this stuff, right? And we've already tested this stuff already. I know what that stuff is. It's nothing more than just black and white paint. It's house paint. That's all it is. You can't back this up. You're going to have a process server beating on that door in no time at all because you're going to bring it to court. I'll make you with a consumer fraud. I'm going to challenge you in court. Nothing more than just house paint. That's all. Look at this. Look at this mess. Literally has the ingredient right there telling you how to make the product. Metallica mix, projection screen paint. 2 tablespoons of flat black paint, and that's exactly how we made the product. As a matter of fact, keep in mind in the ship back, let me get that box real quick. This is the box for the ship back right here. Away. There we go. So this is the paint. That's the same thing we did. We made that paint using that instruction. And this is the paint we got sent back. Now, Jamie, mind you, this is the paint you're trying to sell on eBay for $75, right? And this is the same ingredients we made right there in that demonstration, right here. Crows Metallica Mix 2.0, 2 tablespoons of black paint into 1 quart of white paint, right? That's what we made over there. This is what this is right here. That's what we have on that surface over there that doesn't work. Took it outside, it wouldn't read. This is an upgrade version of it right here, showing it has 3 tablespoons and it has mica in it. This one matched my cat's blanket. Taco's blanket he's laying on right now. It matched his blanket. Actually, one of the blankets did better. That one he's sleeping on did better, and the one we have there matched it. So my cat's blanket does the same thing as your screen paint. And here, showing on the package, this is your address that we shipped it to. Now you can't get mad about that because this address is public domain, as I showed you. It has it set up as a business, so we shipped it to his business. There's the tracking number right there, which means we sent the tracking number for everybody to know exactly where the package is going to land. And there's a post office saying that he refused the package and sent it back. So why would you send back a package of this amazing mix that you claimed at the end of the day would do this spectacular, outstanding image for your projector, and you sent it back? And there it is right there. That's a Metallica mix right here. There's the product right there. Let me remove that. There's the product right there. That's the ingredients on how to make it. This is exactly the same. This is what we sent to you. The same thing. So why would you send that back? Can't wait to get you in court on this. Look at this. That's the inside. There's the dining room hutch you used to have over there. And that same painting has that same painting in every demonstration. So in this demonstration, we sent back to Jamie this mixture right here. And that's the mixture sitting in that box he sent back. Also, from the videos we showed you, the unboxing on that product, that's a product that right there, look, there it is right here. We had a customer send us that one. So, Jamie, we had a customer send us that one. We went and picked up the product ourselves and bought it and paid for it. And that product did horrible. It didn't do anything as you claimed it did. So here's the kicker. We got 2 options here. We take you to small claims court, we get you for $12,000. We take you to civil court, we get you for $50,000. I think I'm gonna go for civil court. I'm gonna sue you for $50,000. So as you can see, 1 tablespoon of flat black paint. And there's another one. Man, if you're not ripping off companies at the end of the day, then you're going in and you're basically ripping off your customers. And then try to post that free paint all over again. Ripped off churches and everything. Well, Jamie, you're going to be down here in Philadelphia. Mind you set foot in Philadelphia. And you got to be here. If you don't show up, the process service will still take your stuff. So you just forfeit. We'll just take your stuff either way. But if you do show up, I'm going to have you arrested. So, yeah, your stuff is nothing more than just everyday house paint. And I put your product against the personal mix, against a product that I paid for out of my own pocket, and your product came up matching both of them. Matter of fact, the network grade 773 matched all 3 of them. Cinemax, it matched the personal mix, and it matched the Metallica mix. I got 3 process servers coming to your door, Jamie, so you know that. You won't know which one's which is going to hit you first. And to make sure they reach out to your landlord. And he has to know why. Keep in mind, when these process servers are beating on that door, your neighbors are going to contact your landlord and say, hey, apartment E has these process servers coming to the front door. They scream out who they are. They yell out, process server, roll out, bam, 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 right on the door. So they're going to hit that door hard. And since you know that you got agencies that are looking for you right now, that is going to be a nail biter for the next couple months. So until they pick you up, we're going to have process servers hitting that apartment because we're serving you for court. Going to get something out of you. Look at this. Look at the stuff we have on this guy at the end of the day. Same listing. That's the same listing he's trying to pull right now. And this is what happened to his paint outside. Look at this. Look at them. Look how awful that looks. Let's go get the personal mix outside. Let's go get his Crows personal mix outside. Let's see. Crows personal mix. Personal mix. This was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So in this mixture, he claims to make this special mix only for himself, and he's going to give it to you guys. And you guys got it all right. That stuff matched network grade 773. So see right here, this is a guy that I basically at the end of the day, I bought his product. Very good product, by the way. Very good product. And I put him against something called it's called Projector HC. I think that's the product called. It beat his product. This is where he stole Google images to try to make his product seem different. This is the other product right here. There's the personal mix right there, showing you that it's the matching the bare silver screen. This is so much stuff we have on him. It's unbelievable. We were able to make his product using primer and M&M, basically silver paint, which actually was a real version. Oh, this is when Crow pulled his eBay listing and changed the name to something called something Microsoft something Systems. Oh, we got so, like I said, this is tons of dirt. Screen's failing. Oh, that's the Vega. That stuff had all kinds of problems on it. Yeah, so much stuff. We got the outside. I want the outside mix outside. Let me see if we got it for outside. What's a personal mix? It's a personal mix, yeah. Outside. We tested outside. There it is right there. So this is Crow's personal mix right here. We tested outside. Another scam. Didn't work for Jack outside. What happened there, Jamie? So are you saying your paint you have here? And it's funny because they both look the same. Same projector inside, 1100 lumens. So as we can see, Jamie, we've tested your stuff. We have it here. We have tracking numbers showing your product was delivered to our address. And what did we find out in the end out of all of this? We found out that your product is nothing but a scam. It's house paint. You've just been ripping people off for years. All this nonsense talking about enhance your home theater to what? A washed out image at the end of the day? Jamie's the kind of person that'll try to make you forget things at the end of the day. Oh my God, he's Mexican Trump. He is so Mexican Trump. Try to make you forget things so he can pull other scams. You know, like the same person who sat there in his apartment and claimed that he moved when he never moved. He was in the same place the entire time. What's the return policy on this product once you get scammed on this Metallica mix right here? What's the return policy on this? Let's see what we got here for the return policy. And we're going to get our money back here. Let me see right here. All right, here it says, seller does not accept any returns. So there's no exchanges and no returns. Let's see what we got here. Simple and plain to the point. Let me see. No returns, but backed by eBay. So eBay will basically back and guarantee to get your money back. And that's good, because that means, well, you shouldn't buy this stuff anyway. It's garbage. You're buying house paint. It's nothing more than house paint. So Jamie, if you feel at the end of the day that what I'm saying here is false, you're saying that the Metallica mix or the hybrid mix, this is not basically house paint. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to send up this paint we have here over there. I'm going to make some more using the tutorial video. Let me see, where's that tutorial video we have? Go back here. Let's see, let's get that tutorial video. I'm going to go back to the beginning. Oh, that's my stuff at the end of the day. We'll get the tutorial video and we're going to make that mixture again. and then I'm going to send that mixture to you. I'm going to post the tracking numbers so everybody can have the tracking numbers, and then you show me at the end of the day that I am completely wrong on what I said. Now, mind you, we went through this before. We went through this before when it came to the network grade 773. I sat there and told you your stuff matched the house paint at network grade 773, and you told me at the end of the day that I was a liar. That pretty much that your stuff would never match network grade 773. He did the demonstration himself, and lo and behold, his stuff matched network grade 773. So that means I was telling the truth on camera. Now, again, I'm going to say again, your product is nothing more than house paint. And I guarantee you 100% that when we send this mixture to your front door, the black and white paint, we have your product showing the Metallica mix and gray. Let me show you. Unboxing of your product being sent from a customer shows gray. So if that color changes for some strange reason, you're going to get sued. You know why? Because on your site, you don't have the color of the product. I'm going to sit there and send you a very detailed message. We're going to talk back and forth. I'm going to ask you, what is the color of your product? Now, if you tell me it's dark gray, I want to see demonstrations of you having this product dark gray. Other than that, you're still going to be in a lot of trouble. Again, back it up, Jaime. I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. I'm going to send you out a bunch of emails. By the way, while we're on here, I'm curious. Did Danny put our state back in? Let me see. Let's see. We'll do another video on that one. But Jaime, that's what it's going to come to. Bottom line, when we send this paint to your address, I expect for you to do the demonstration showing that we're wrong, that your product does not match this house paint. Don't send it back. I warn you, just don't send it back. Another thing too, we need to know the color of the product. And there's a series of questions I'm going to ask you about this product because, again, if you can't answer correctly, this will be used against you in court. It shows at the end of the day that you are selling fake, fraudulent products on eBay, that you're using eBay and abusing the privileges of eBay to go in and sell products that you know that you can't back up 100%. At the end of this month, I will begin the process of your first lawsuit. It'll be for consumer fraud. I think we're going to change from $12,000 to $50,000. We're going to take you to civil court. I think that's only proper. We'll take you to $50,000 in civil court. If you don't show up in court, but you know you're not going to show up, you'll still be hit with a lawsuit. I'll execute judgment, and you'll have some people come to your property that will be taking stuff out of your apartment because you will owe me now $50,000. Next lawsuit for defamation. Defamation lawsuit in civil court. It's going to cost you, hopefully, well, for me, at the end of the day, roughly about $80,000. That's what it's going to cost you. 80 grand for posting my face without my permission. Hey, look on the right side. At least you're not Rogers. Rogers is being hit for $100 million for touching my face. You're going to hit for $80,000, about $80,000. And then it'll keep climbing after that. We want to show a track record at the end of the day that you can't back yourself up. And this is where the heavier lawsuits. So before ICE touches you, I'm going to make sure you get hit with at least about 16, 17 lawsuits. Your house will be empty when I get done with you. So I'm going to ask you some very important questions tomorrow. I expect for you to answer those questions crystal clear in the best way you possibly can, because they will repeat themselves in court. Do you understand? Now, I've showed a track record here on my account. I showed that we've had your product at our address. We tested your product and it failed miserably. Did it not? Unboxing, same labels, same thing you're trying to post here for $75. You're trying to rip people off. We had the same paint from 2018 showing this product right here and a video of you making the product for free to give away to customers and then trying to sell the product. And then we have the product in an unboxing video and one sent to us by a customer, same product, also two failing. So you have a lot of things missing in the specification sheet. I'm going to ask you some very serious questions tomorrow. Mind you, everything is going to be documented for court. If you don't get this right, it's going to cost you $50 million. Sorry, $50,000. Not that much money yet. We still have the copyrights to go through. And if we can get you before they get to you on the copyrights, I'll be getting those ready too next. So be prepared. It's coming. I know when you hear that beating on that door, it's going to scare the daylights out of you because you know that ICE could be popping up anytime soon. And your neighbors are definitely going to reach out to your landlord at the end of the day, because when they hear that door being beat on over and over and over again, especially for a solid straight month and more, depending on how many lawsuits we can get in there before they get to you, we'll go from there. All right, Fernando. That's basically about it. You haven't answered any questions at all. We just see you down at the bottom ranting. I'm going to give you a little bit of time out at the bottom. There we go. We need some time out. There we go. We can see everything from your accounts. There's PC King in there crying. He's always crying about something. This is what I'm going to do right now for you. I'm going to come in. I'm going to help you out with your problem because you seem to be having a problem, PC King. I'm going to give you a little timeout. Let me see. We're going to put you in timeout. We're going to give you 24 hours. There we go. You take that and enjoy that. Goodbye. There you go. So, with that being said, Jamie, we answer those questions. If you can't answer those questions correctly, there's consequences behind that. The process server that came beating on your door, this is far worse at the end of the day. So, get ready. It's coming. Now, mind you, I have agencies to talk to in the next couple of days for ICE informers to actually hit your property pretty soon. Because, again, we've been putting in multiple complaints about your actions. Now, pretty soon, you're going to be on your front door. But I want to make sure before we get to that stage, I want to get those lawsuits in. And I'm also checking with an attorney if it's possible. If you are deported, we can still hit you with lawsuits. Well, wait a minute. I think we can do that. I'm going to check on this right now. If someone is deported, can we still hit them with lawsuits? Yes, we can. So guess what? We'll hit you with lawsuits long after you're gone. It had been open and shut. So we can still hit you. I didn't even know that. That's good to know. I'd have to talk to the other attorney about that. So, that's what's going to happen. Long after you're gone, I'm still going to hit you with lawsuits. Now, let me see. Gee whiz, who's going to get hit with a lawsuit? Chances are it's going to come out of the kids. That's not my problem at the end of the day. It isn't. Well, it isn't. But yeah, that's what it's going to go down to. So yeah, again, as I said before, product is a fake, product is a scam. Oh, Jamie, I mean, you come in a room screaming and yelling, and you get mad every time. You get upset and get angry with me at the end of the day. But you're the one scamming people at the end of the day. This is nothing but house paint. This is nothing more than house paint. So, when I sent the product over the first time for you, you sent me back my product. So if you sent me back my product at the end of the day, then it must be fake, because I sent you the paint over. I sent you the Metallica mix right here. This is what we sent to your front door. This is the same thing we made for free. Any customer who made this stuff for free and sends this to you, that means at the end of the day, that customer is supposed to be wrong. Anybody can make that product. It's right there. And this right here is the same thing as a hybrid mix. They're both the same ingredients, the same mix. We tested them. So it's right there for free on how to make it. So you're going to tell me at the end of the day that this is supposed to be a false video? It's you in the video. How's it a false video? You tell me how it's a false video. I want to know how that's possible. You tell me. Shows us how to make it for free. You tell me. I don't want to hear all that. I don't want to hear all that. Jamie, look, you got to understand. Buddy, your life is in a lot. You're going to have a lot of problems pretty soon. And then ICE agents get your address. What's going to happen? You're going to be going to El Salvador. You know the prison system they have up there? Because your criminal charges are so intensified. It's insane. I mean, you're counterfeiting in your apartment. You're breaking all kinds of crimes. You're ripping off Americans at the end of the day. You're going to tell me you're not ripping off Americans. You didn't rip off Stan Lee. Tell me you didn't rip off Stan Lee. All right, then. And I had a nerve to sell this stuff at Comic-Con and call yourself a Marvel collector at the end of the day. Those companies are going to sue you. I want to make sure we get to you before they get to you, because I know they're going to sue the daily site for touching this stuff. Did you contact any of these companies and tell them what you were doing? No, you didn't. Did you walk into BALDWIN Police Department? Baldwin Park Police Department. Did you explain to them on camera what you were doing? No, you didn't. Did you contact code enforcement? No, you did not. You contact City Hall about your license? No, you didn't. You didn't do any of that, did you? So that means if you didn't do any of that stuff and you can't walk into a police department and make this conversation about what you're doing, that means you're breaking the law, right? All right, then. Then you get prepared for what's about to happen to you, because I guarantee you, you're coming out of that apartment. Oh, you can cry all you want. That's all you do. Just cry, cry, cry. You're a scam artist. That's what you are. And I got tons of videos of you scamming people. Like that Frankenstein video. Literally ripped off Universal Studio and used their name. So this person came to this country at the end of the day. You want to talk about saying that you're supposed to be, I'm a racist person? That's what you're saying at the end of the day? Then explain to me at the end of the day why you came here to this country and you're in here ripping off our countries at the end of the day. You're ripping off our companies. You want me to pull your video? I can show you a video right there. You print it in your apartment. If you stealing our company's products to sell for your own profit. There you go. And then talk a whole lot of trash at the bottom. You're a thief. That's what you are. You're a scam artist. That's what you are. That's why nothing you have works. Your website's down. It doesn't work anymore. My buddy actually owns your domain name. It's his. You got nothing that works, man. Sooner or later at the end of the month, we're never going to see you again. You're going to be in a third country. You're going to be in another country and another prison. We're never going to see you again. You're going to be gone. Bye-bye. That's going to be the end of you. Bye-bye. That's what you get when you come here and you rip off Americans, and that's what you did. Now, anybody else that comes over here, I couldn't care less, because most people who come here are not trying to get in trouble. Most people who come here are not trying to rip off Americans. Jaime Fernando Gonzalez came here and ripped off the American people. That's what he did. And with these scams he has going on with his screen paint products, he has turned around and he has ripped off customers, everyday customers, on buying his products, tricking them to make them believe that they were getting something special when they were just getting nothing more than just gray house paint, and that's what they were receiving. And sat there and lied on camera. I left the chat open, Jaime, for a reason. The reason why the chat is open is because at the end of the day, I have people that monitor these channels, and they're monitoring everything you're saying. Even if you're on a fake account, they still can figure out exactly where you're coming from. So right here, this is Crows right here. eBay scamming mix. Yeah, you got to watch out for that stuff at the end of the day. Let me see right here. Let me see. Crow1176. Let me see. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see. And we had your product in 2018. Same thing, same stuff that you're trying to sell right there. That stuff didn't work inside, didn't work outside. That stuff failed miserably. Metallica Mix 2.0. A scan paint of the. So here's what's going to happen, Fernando. I'm going to have a process server come to your apartment, apartment E, and I'm going to have him beat on your door, and I'm going to have him serve you for court to be sued for $50,000. That's what's going to happen to you. Now, if you feel at the end of the day that we're wrong on this, then you show up to court. That's all you got to do. Look at this. Even your UV mix is a scam. Look at this. We matched it with Bullseye Primer. Look at that. That stuff matched Bullseye Primer. The UV mix. Trash. Everyday Bullseye Primer. It matched. Trash. Look at this. This is Jaime screaming on his channel. We got all so much stuff on you, man. At the end of the day, it's not even funny, man. I got tons and tons and tons of transcripts on you of you screaming on your channel. Look at this. We got unboxings on this stuff. My cat blanket beat the screen, by the way. You do know that, right? Got you listed on the blacklist. Metallica Mix 2.0. Look at it. Look, this is the free mix. This is the Metallica 2.0 free mix, showing you how to make it. Metallica 2 tablespoons of paint. Are you kidding me? That's what you're trying to sell for $75? That's what you're trying to sell for $75, Jaime? Huh? Ripping people off. But this is the problem, Jaime, you're going to have. That process server is going to come to your door at the end of the day. They're going to hit that door. Now, we get criminal charges involved in this. You're going to have no choice but to come here to Pennsylvania. And the minute you step foot off that plane, we find out where you're at, because we will know what plane you get off of. Allentown has one airport down here. Only one. So we know which gate you're coming off. So whatever gate you come, we'll have you arrested. It ain't a big airport down here. I've been to it. It's a small airport. I can tell exactly what gate you're coming off of. Heck, Matrix can figure out exactly what ticket you're on. And we'll figure out when you come here, you're going to go into jail. That's it to it. We got charges on you. So we're coming to your apartment with the process server. I'm going to challenge you in court on this. And then when I get done with that, we got the defamation, we got the freaking touching my copyrights without my permission. It's going to cost you a couple $1 million. And after you're deported and long gone from here, I'm still going to hit you with lawsuits and take whatever we can take from there. I'm going to clean your apartment out till there's nothing left in there. And you can't get mad about it. You're a rip-off artist, man. You're a scammer. Look at this. Look at this. This is how you make the paint. He's selling for $75. And you know the funny thing about it is there's no metallic in it. He didn't add any silver in there at all. There it is in his apartment. Speak to me, Jamie. Talk to me about this. Come on, man. You're on your channel screaming and yelling. On our channel screaming and yelling. Tell me about this mess. I made your product. I have here behind me in this box. I made it for $11. And you sent it back to us. So that tells you right there from the door that you know darn well that that $11 of paint we made, you knew that was going to match your product, and you sent it back to me. You're the only one who could have sent it back. The only one. The only one that could sign for it. $31 restriction sitting on top of it. And you sat there and ripped your customers off and stole from them and sold them nothing but house paint. What about that customer who tried to watch the soccer game? What about him? What about the fellow who was trying to watch the Batman on top of the roof deck and the screen washed out? What about the, what was it called? Some kind of a church? You ripped off a church. Look at this mess. You can SM texting me, screaming at me. Look at this mess. Look at the rip-off artist. Look at this mess. Look at this mess. Look at it. And then tries to sell this stuff for $75. Jamie, this is going to use this against you in court. In court, buddy. In court. So get a calculator open. Try to figure out exactly how much money you got in your collection, because we're taking it from you. Everything. I mean everything. Everything. If I can get your wife's wedding ring, we're taking that too. We're taking everything. And we found out that she knew that this was going on in this apartment and knew nothing about it. I will file a class action lawsuit against her also. And she will also face lawsuits. So she's going to be in court to testify. She'll testify against you. Oh yeah, we're serving with a lawsuit. We're definitely going to serve with a lawsuit. Because there's no way in the world that she was in that apartment and she didn't know all that nonsense was going on. Especially with the counterfeiting that was going on in that apartment. She didn't know about that. She knew about the stuff that was going on there. So we're going to have a lawsuit. So there he is making the product. We're making the product right there on camera. Same thing with that whole network fiasco. That stuff was nothing but house paint. It matched that house paint with no problem. Made the product. Here he is. Look. Painted it down on the surface right here. Gray paint. That's all it was. He's selling you gray paint for $75. You can make that stuff for $11. For 2 quarts. You can get a gallon out of it at most. Right there. We paint it down, got it against the wall. We're using a 1080p Christie on it. Because he said we don't use high-end projector. There's a 1080p Christie on there right now. And we go grab a sample sheet. Now mind you, this is the personal mix versus the Metallica mix. They both, neither one pick up contrast. They both did the same thing. We had the hybrid mix, it matched. We had the Cinemax, it matched. All those paints matched. Now, when we sent over this paint to him, let me show you the apartment right here, his so-called business that failed. This is the apartment right there. Apartment E. This is his business. So before you sit there saying my docs and addresses, we have you right there. We can pull you up and show right there where you have it for public domain that anyone can find you. This is the address right here. That's the tracking number we sent out for everybody to track the package. When the package got there, he was accused that the paint we have in here that we made in that video would match his products. That all he was doing was selling people nothing more than house paint, and it was all the same thing. You know what Jamie did? Jamie sent the package back to us. He refused it. He's the only one that could have taken that package. It had a special restriction on it. Only he could basically sign for it. Only he could refuse it. No one else could. And you know what? He sent it right back to us. So, you're trying to make $75 on eBay on ripping off customers who don't know about this. He's hoping that customers don't see these videos so that we can rip them off. Jamie, the problem you have at the end of the day, that you got Mr. Bird on your back. Mr. Bird's going to bring you into a courtroom. I'm going to sue you for $50,000. I'm also going to bring charges up against you for basic consumer fraud. I'm challenging you in court. Do you understand me? This is a challenge for you in court. Which means if we bring up criminal charges, you're going to get a summons to come to court. If you don't, you'll get a bench warrant. You'll be arrested. And with the other thing with ICE and all that, this might quicken that process up even faster. So what's it going to be? So this is what we're going to do. Knowing what we see here, what everybody saw, we're going to send you up some more paint. I'm going to send you up some more paint to do against the eBay paint. So unless you say eBay paint, this is what we want you to do. Same thing we have here, we want to see it there. Now, if that paint changes colors, we have right there at the bottom, it's already been copied. Your eBay listing was duplicated. So already copied, showing that there's nothing there showing the color of the paint. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions tomorrow. What color is that paint? Does it pick up 100% contrast? Is calibrated going to be involved? If we're using it outside, what time of the day are we going to be using it? What are the hours? What's the minimum amount of lumens that are designed to be on that particular screen paint? I'm going to ask you all these questions. Is it ambient light rejection? All these questions are going to be asked. Now, if you fail to respond back to any of these questions, you're going to have some problems on your hands. Because we can show the court that we did reach out to you, we did ask you a series of questions, and you didn't answer back on any of them whatsoever. So, get it wrong, Fernando, it's $50,000. They'll go through your collection, they'll take all your stuff. Heck, I'm going to tell you something, Jamie. When these process servers come through, when these people come through to collect these debt collectors, they will take the pots and pans out of your freaking cabinets. When I tell them at the end of the day to empty your apartment will be empty. Do you understand me? I'll even take the water out of a dog dish. You understand me? They'll come through, they come through. You owe me a lot of money. You got to pay me. Now, when those lawsuits hit, the big ones, the more larger ones hit, we can show the court there's a track record of multiple lawsuits that we filed against you, and you were a no-show for every single one of them. And with that being the case, we can easily be able to process a lawsuit. We won't even have to show up because you're not going to be there and still win. Judges can't stand when you don't show up for court cases. They hate it. It takes them off. And you don't show up the first time, the second time, the third time, they might put a warrant out for you to bring you in. Because that could possibly happen. A judge can issue a warrant for your arrest to bring you in for lawsuits that you're not showing up for. So it can go that way too. So we're going to hit you with so many lawsuits that at the end of the day, it's going to raise red flags everywhere. And mind you, those lawsuits go into public domain, which means they come up on records, public records, which means everybody on YouTube and everybody has to be able to read what happened in that courtroom. So, first lawsuit, beginning of the month. Get ready. This is what we're going to challenge you for in court. Your product is nothing more than just house paint. Look at the match on this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the match on that. Same paint. These are two different paints. And this is black and white paint. So let me get this straight. You made all these statements about this beautiful image, and it's supposed to be this, and it's supposed to be that, and all that, which you said, right? And that's house paint right there. And that's against, not the Metallica mix, that's going against your personal mix. Don't lose in that courtroom. And show up. I would advise you to show up. Now, CCBs are different. CCB lawsuits are basically going to be, at the end of the day, they're going to be cyber judges involved in those. You don't log into that, that's going to be another problem for you. When the process server gets there, they bring in the sheriff's department with them. They come with them. Make sure that they don't have any problems. The gate won't help you. They'll definitely get through your gate. So that's going to be pretty embarrassing watching your stuff get taken out of your unit. It's going to be money. You got to pay it. Look at that. Match. Identical match. The house paint. And trying to rip your customers off for $75. That's called scamming, Jamie. That's what it's called. It's called a scam. That's what you're doing. Fraud. Scam. And if you're saying you're not a rip-off artist, well, explain basically all that copyright, trademark, patent material that you have over there, that we've got tons of videos and pictures of you showing you ripping off everybody, including Stan Lee himself. You're not a thief, that's what you're saying? You don't steal? Explain that mess. Because we're going to use that against you in court. When we go for a judge, we're going to show a track record. You have a habit of stealing from people. You've touched your copyrights. We had a process server come to your door. We have tons of videos of you actually storing stolen items in storage containers or storage units. Tell me how well this is going to work out for you in court. The judge may issue a warrant for your arrest. So, you know I'm not bluffing. We had a process server go to your door, right? I can even show the post on your door. I got a picture of it from the process server. So you know I'm in business, well, you know it's going to happen, right? All right then, we'll get this ball starting. First lawsuit, $50,000. That's what we're going to be hit with. Your job is based at the end of the day to prove that we're wrong. That's what you got to do. You lose that lawsuit and you will. Next stage, $80,000. Defamation, using my face without my permission. Next one, $80,000. Making false statements about our products saying they come out black and they're unwatchable. This could follow some prison time behind that, but we'll see where that goes at the end of the day. And then you have the copyrights which you touch. You had no permission for that, right, from us. That's going to cost you a couple $1 million. That's horrible. That's absolutely horrible. House paint. Nothing more than just house paint. And you're going to rip off your customers and try to get $75 out of them. Jamie, you're going to get hit with so many lawsuits, it's not even funny. Every one of those companies you ripped off are going to file lawsuits against you. Because that first lawsuit we hit you is going to spark all kinds of investigations against you. I got so much to talk to the judge about. So much to talk about your situation. And since you're in an address where you can't go anywhere, you can't go anywhere. You're going to stay put. Even if you lie on camera and say that you moved magically, it's not going to happen. There's no place to go. You're a scammer, Jamie. That's what you are. Look at that. $75. You want the same price he had. His product is actually better than yours. As a matter of fact, I did a demonstration against his product versus yours, and he beat your product. Did that test myself. House paint. Nothing more than just house paint. That's all it is. So, you got a way to back this up, Jamie. I'm going to send you another one of these to your front door. Everyone's going to get the tracking number as usual. That's what we're going to do. And let's see if he sends it back. If you send it back, then that means we can back up what we're saying. If we go to court, we basically put a charge and say, look, his product is nothing but house paint. How do you know that? Well, we did several test demonstrations on his product, and we shipped them over the same thing. The first time he sent it back to us, we shipped them again. You know what the judge is going to ask you? If the product was not basically matching that, why would you send it back? What are you going to say? Now, if you sit there and say, well, it's a different color, well, the problem we have here, Jamie, is that on your site, it doesn't show that it's a different color. There's nothing you're describing that there's a color there in any way whatsoever. You're missing a ton of information out of the specification sheets, and you're only showing one picture of the cans. That's it. And those pictures are old. They go all the way back from 2018, a little farther back than that. So there's something wrong right there. It's a scam. That's what you have. You remind me of the people who take pictures from Google and say, I got this projector. It's used, but it looks brand new. That's what you are. I'm curious. Let me see something for a minute. I'm going to go back to... And if he thinks that then they always should know, Jamie, we do this because you're a scam artist. That's what you do. You're a scammer. I'm not going to sit back and watch you scam people at the end of the day. If you feel that I'm that person at the end of the day, sign the contract. See me in court. I told you this 1,000 times. Sign the contract. I'll see you in court. You want me to send it to your front door? I'll send it with the process server. I'll send it to your front door. Sign the contract. I'll see you in court. I got to say it again to you. You say I'm a scammer, right? Sign the contract. I'll see you in court. You can't do that. You know why? Because you're not going to back my product at 100%. By the way, where's my black paint? Because you're supposed to send me black paint too. Remember that? We asked for that. You never sent it, right? Why didn't you send it? Because you know that you were going to get embarrassed. And we're going to blow that black paint out of the water like we do every other kind of black paint that we put against our product. There you go. You know at the end of the day who you're dealing with. Jamie, I'm dead serious here, man. I'm going to reach out to your apartment. with a process server. So many of them that you're not going to know the difference of whether or not those are agents or those are basically servers at the day. You will not leave that apartment to be paranoid. Mind you, these people will track you down even when you leave that apartment. You go to one of those Comic-Cons, you sell any of that stuff you have at the end of the day, I guarantee that process server will walk in and serve you in front of all those people that you have to appear in court. You won't go anywhere. So, I'm a man of my word. You do know this, right? So, first of the month, process server starts $50,000 for this mess. I'm challenging you in court. Can you challenge a company in court? Yes. See you soon, Jamie. I'm going to challenge you in a courtroom by filing a lawsuit. See you soon. I'm not joking with you, buddy. I'm dead serious. I'm going to sue the daylights out of you. Before ICE gets their hands on you, I'm going to hit 16 lawsuits across your table. I'm going to challenge you on every single level you could possibly think of. You want my attention, you got it. And you're going to pay for all court costs. I'm going to clean your apartment out. When I get done with it, that place is going to look like you first moved in. I couldn't care less what belongs to your dogs and stuff. I don't care about that. Or your kids. I don't need their stuff at the end of the day. But I'm taking all your stuff. And if I find out that your wife knew anything about what went on in that place, I'm going to file a separate lawsuit against her for $250,000. Mind, you guys are married. You understand how that works at the end of the day? Because you're married, you're both joint to the hip. You understand that? So if I find out that she knew anything about anything that went on in that apartment, I'm going to file a class action lawsuit against her also. Because she's responsible. Why? Because she could have stopped it from going. I think she encouraged it. And if I feel she encouraged it, she's getting sued. It could be higher than that. $250,000, we can make it $500,000. So either two things are going to happen, Fernando. Either she's going to bite that bullet and take that hit with you, or she's going to deny that she did tell you multiple times and she'll file for divorce. If she files for divorce, we won't go near her. But if she doesn't, then she'll take that hit, that $500,000 hit lawsuit. I think that's got your attention now, right? There you go. Jamie, I don't like your kind. And your kind are scammers. That's what I don't like. At the end of the day, you have never backed up anything. Since the timeline I have known you, you have never backed anything up. Not a thing. You have spent your time since you've been here in this country of scamming and ripping off American citizens. That's what you have done. And now on your YouTube channel, you go farther than that by ripping off our companies. You know there's nothing wrong in that. Operating a multi-unit printing press in your apartment that potentially could cause you cancer or cause the people that you love cancer, or even worse, the people around you. What if you have kids in that apartment? How in the world can you walk past people, especially if people have kids in that unit, and sit there and smile at them knowing that you're ripping them off? People like you don't belong here. You understand me? If you want to make this about race, Jamie, at the end of the day, then do me a favor. Entertain us. Go over to the police department, explain to them everything. And you feel that you can run that business with no problem, no consequences, no jail time. You go over there and you talk to the police department. You talk to the fire marshals. You go over and talk to the, what they call code enforcement officers. You talk to all those people and let's see what happens. If you have nothing to hide in this business. But because you do, because you have not made those calls yet after we made these statements, that means you have something to hide, which means you're running a legal business out of that apartment. That's what you're doing. And if that's the case, Jamie, you not being a documented citizen, that means you make your own people look bad by coming over and committing crimes. It's a shame that somebody at the end of the day has to be picked up and put into a holding facility who hasn't done anything wrong, when you have someone who's basically committed crimes and should be in there. And Jamie, as I said before, it is going to be my 100% guarantee I'm getting you out of this country. And if that means filing massive multiple lawsuits against you in that building, so be it. You're leaving. Do you understand that? You're not going to commit any more crimes here. You're not going to scam any more Americans here. And for those people who stayed on his channel, for those people who supported that nonsense and scamming and ripping off and fleecing Americans, today, you are just to blame. Because you allowed that nonsense to go on, including you, Frozen Oatmeal, who came to my YouTube channel, called my company at the end of the day, and said that he had the right to do what he was doing at the end of the day. Keep in mind that when the FBI investigation breaks open, you all will be in that responsibility. You all will be questioned for this at the end of the day because you supported the nonsense. I told you at the end of the day, look, you don't get off this earth that easy. Everything you do is written in the book of life. Do you understand that whole purpose there? So say FBI agents never contact you, and you happen to die the next day, or pass off this earth. God forbid this doesn't happen to you, but we're not meant to be here. You still pay. There's no way out of that. So, you're stuck. And since you don't want to pick up the cross, then guess where you're going? And that's the only way out. And involving when you pick up a cross, let me tell you something. Confession comes with that, which means you will confess things to people at the end of the day that know that will get you potential jail time. But it's the only way to basically set yourself free at the end of the day. No Christian can be on this earth and have things that he has done at the end of the day that he does not confess and keep in secret. Because it's not in secret, because your Heavenly Father knows these things already. So therefore you have lied to him. So you must confess. You don't get away with nothing on this planet. Nothing at all. Not a thing. I'm going to begin, let's see. We got September, November the 1st. We begin the first set of lawsuits going through for challenging Fernando Gonzalez in Apartment E. Fernando, we have to get you out of here. I don't want you in this country anymore. And you can sit there on your channel and go, oh, we said, no, I didn't say all Mexicans. You only. Mexican Trump, as my people call him. You don't need to be here. You make other Mexicans look bad. How about you do me a favor? How about those protests you're having out there right now? How about you walk over to those people with a bullhorn and you explain to them what you're doing in that apartment? How many people you think will support you? I don't think anybody will. I think you may get chased by a mob. You go over and tell them at the end of the day that the reason why they have all those soldiers out there that are trying to remove these people from their homes and separate their families, you tell them that you're out there committing crimes in your apartment at the end of the day. I guarantee you 100% you get a mob chasing you behind you. I guarantee they try to kick the crap out of you because you're making them look bad. I literally gave him a nickname, Mexican Trump. He literally Mexican. But anyway, don't even bother buying that fake mix. If you want, you make it yourself. And I got this right off his tutorial video showing how to make the product. Crows Metallica Mix 2.0, 2 tablespoons. Tell me if I'm wrong, Jaime, because it says it's right there. It's you making the mix right there, right? So is this a fake mix or is this a real mix? What are you going to say on camera? You going to lie about that? Say it's fake? It's right there in the video. Showed you how to make it. I made this right on camera so everybody can see it before we sent it to you. So you can't say we made anything special. So this is the product right here. And this is the product we tested. That's what's on that square surface over here that keeps failing over and over again on that 300 lumen CUNY projector. It doesn't pick up on the demonstration we did on the 4000 lumen Chrissy projector. That product right there. You said it's supposed to be an amazing product, right? Well, this is what we got right here. So, and if you said the hybrid mix is different, no, we bought the hybrid mix too. It did the exact same thing. It's a scam paint. All right. Let me see, civil court. $50,000 in civil court. Yeah, claim is $50,000. All right, we'll get you for 50 grand, 50,000 in civil court. I'm challenging your company for 50,000 in civil court. Jim, your case is such an open case, law case. I don't even have to bring an attorney because you're not going to show up. We know you're not. Because if you land here, I'm getting you arrested. So you can't come here. I hit you with many lawsuits as I want. You can't do anything about it. So, 50,000 first one. Or we can go higher. Ah, man, I might go for 80,000. Can we do 80,000? Let me see. $80,000 lawsuit in civil court. $80,000. It is. I'll make you with 80 grand. I think all the lawsuits are going to be 80 grand. Because the high amounts of damage you sought out. Oh, we got damages on you, buddy. We got damages. And then you being undocumented on top of that, committing these crimes, we got to explain it to the judge. But I don't want to say too much. You know why? I need you to be here for a while. You know why? Because I'm going to hit you with a lot of lawsuits. And then at the end, we'll mention all that. I'm going to sue your pants off you. Matter of fact, I'm going to sue the panties off you. I'm going to sue the daylights out of you now. Because my buddy sat there and said, well, what do you worry about that? You know you can't get them on the other charges because they're going to take them. They're going to take them regardless. You're not going to get that. But you can sue the daylights out of them. And I thought to myself, I said, you know what? That's a bad idea. Let's start suing them. So that's what we're going to start doing. I'll file lawsuits against them. I'm going to challenge your company on this first. That old mixture mess. Go pull it off the eBay listing, go all that do, it doesn't make a difference. There's so much stuff embedded on freaking Google right now of you doing this dirty stuff. Even this video right now, as we speak, it's going to be popping up on Google. So we're in court, I can have a judge pull anything up on you. Right on this phone. Operating a business without a license. Areas not zoned to run a 3D printing business. There's also two environmental issues and problems and violations with that, endangering the lives of others. It's a whole list of stuff going on over there in that place. Who knows how much of that chemical has seeped up in the carpet, the rugs, the walls. They're going to have to come in and detox that entire area. Some people may remove out of their apartments because how much of that chemical has seeped through. Man, there's a lot of stuff going on in that place, in that apartment. So, we'll get the ball rolling. First lawsuits will pop up. Ooh, what's this? That's you talking. First lawsuits will pop up. $80,000 is what you're going to owe me. What you have in your house, Jamie, you're lucky I'm not ruthless. If I was ruthless, I would take everything out of there. Even your dog dishes, I'll take everything from you. What's going to happen to his product? It's going to get sold off at auction. That's what happens. They got to pay me and I got to pay the debt collectors. They get a percentage, I get a percentage of it. I'm going to sue your wife, too. And she sits on camera, goes, what, I got anything to do with it? You had to know. That small apartment, you mean to tell me that you didn't know anything that was going on in that small apartment? You mean to tell me you didn't participate and enjoy any of the money he made off of counterfeiting those items? You did. But since you did know that he was basically counterfeiting those items, since you did know that you made money, you got money off of that, right? Y'all paid bills and rent and all that stuff with that money, right? Then you're responsible for it. That means you can get jail time right along with him. Get a lawyer. Matter of fact, to his wife, get a lawyer and have them contact me and tell me it can't happen. I'll give you 3 days. And I bet you nothing comes up. Nothing at all. Accessory to the crime. If your husband's out there selling drugs and you anticipate in buying things with that money and enjoying that money at the end of the day, you're just as guilty as him at the end of the day. And you can also go to jail. So this is going to be interesting. Now, mind you, James, I'm going to tell you something. For the charges for counterfeiting, I got to file them here. I'm the one bringing the charges against you on it. So I'll be testifying against you in court, but you won't make it to court. As I told you before, they're going to take you. But I have to be the one to file. So I'm going to print out, we got enough ink in here? We do have enough ink. I'm going to print out the rest of this stuff for you. I think I'm going to take care of that tomorrow. We got time tomorrow. I don't have too much of a busy schedule. I'm going to go in and print out all your stuff that you've been doing. I'm going to go to the Allentown Police Department. I'm going to file a charge against you for counterfeiting, piracy, and basically copyright infringement, all that stuff. When that charge goes through, they're going to take it and they're going to send it up to California. That's what I was told from them, because I called BALDWIN Police Department several times. They're going to take over from there. And that's where they're going to reach out to you at the end of the day. Now, mine, you can get rid of all your stuff. I got pictures and everything's documented, videos, everything on you. You're done at the end of the day. And your storage unit, all that stuff. So it doesn't make a difference if you move everything out and it's not there. What it shows at the end of the day that we have videos of doing this and now stuff is missing, which means, where is it? And that means if you hid this stuff, that means you did it for the simple fact that you're guilty. Because the person's not guilty because they moved stuff. You did. Those pictures are evidence. That's enough to prosecute you right there. And keep in mind, Jamie, when they reach to the customers, which they can find easy finding your customers, every single one of them, they're going to basically bring them into questioning. You know what they're going to do? They're going to turn on you. That's what's going to happen. Because to receive stolen goods is a year in county jail. And they're not doing a year in county jail. I guarantee you. Not for you, they're not. So you're going to say, yeah, I bought that stuff from him. I thought it was authentic. I thought it was the real thing. I didn't even know. They can easily get that. Easy. Well, can you point out to the person who did it? That's him right there. They're going to bring you in, put you in a lineup, and they're going to point you out. Every single one of them. And that'll be enough to send you up. You sold that stuff to other people. And you posted their pictures on your YouTube channel with stolen items. I can't believe how dumb this was. I really did. These guys are going to testify against you. So if you do clear out your apartment, get rid of all that stuff, you got customers who bought your stuff, and you show pictures of you selling this stuff to customers. Even walking into a storage unit showing multiple items. Good luck with that one. All right, let me get your stuff printed out. I got all your pictures and stuff here. I got to go file that. Because to tell you the truth, if you thought at the end of the day, Jaime, let me explain something to you. That the reason why no one's come to your door about it at all, period, let me explain to you why. Mr. Bird is an extremely busy person. I got a lot of work to do. And some days I walk past the police station every single day, and all I have to do is walk in there with these documents and just get it taken care of. But I'm very busy. Sometimes I forget. This time, I'm not. I'm going to take care of it tomorrow. So we get all that taken care of. And then you can't get on your YouTube channel and say, oh, nothing happened to me. Because you're going to be afraid to answer your door from the people that are going to be coming to visit you. Hopefully we get the lawsuits in before then. Because they get his hands on him at the end of the day and they pinch him on that one. You might have to get a chance to sue this joker at the end of the day. I got to get something out of this. But yeah, that's what's going to happen. Mr. Williams think he's forgot about. No, Mr. Williams, you're not forgot about it at all, period. I told you before, we're coming down to your state. I'm going to file charges against you, get a warrant for your arrest. That big document of all your paperwork we have, a judge is going to get a chance to look through all that. I'm getting you a 302. Because we feel at the end of the day that you're mentally unstable. There's something wrong with you. Definitely something wrong with you. And I think you need psychiatric evaluation. Once you get a court order for that, you have to stay in that unit. Which means most people who basically go to court and maybe they get like maybe 5 or 10 years and maybe 3 years, where they may get, they do their 3 years and they go home. They're done. That's it. But in psychiatric evaluation, you can be there indefinitely. It's up to the psychiatrist, and I'll have to come up there from time to time when it comes time for your parole to see whether or not we feel you're safe. And I don't think you should ever be let loose. I think you need to stay in there. I definitely can see why, from what I've seen from the activity of the stuff you've done, I can see you have mental problems. I can clearly see that. You have some kind of special needs or something's wrong with you. Especially the letters you were sending over. Those are letters, like I said, like almost like a 3-year-old wrote them. So I can tell at the end of the day you have some kind of special need part. I'm not going to say you're borderline retarded, but you're somewhere in there. There's something wrong with you at the end of the day. And keep in mind, just because you do suffer from that, or if you may have that at the end of the day, you still go to jail. You're not exonerated because you have special needs. People have, I don't care what you have. You commit a murder and you have special needs, you're going in. They don't sit there and look past that. You're going in. You committed a crime. You know the difference between right and wrong, and I'm pretty sure you do, so that's where they're going to stick you at. And most likely, they end up in getting 302. That's what they put them at. They put them over there. And that's where you're going to be at, Mr. Williams, for 50 years. And how old are you? And you ain't going to surpass all that time. So, gentlemen, the only reason why nothing's come to your door is because I've been very busy and I haven't had time to go to the police station. But I think it's time for a little wake-up call. Mr. Williams, we've had several police officers come to your address, right? I'm pretty sure you know that. They came to your door, right? That's the reason why you don't use your address anymore. Certain things you changed and how you do things, like sending over Christmas cards, that make it seem like you're not doing anything harmful. Well, because there's a restraining order against you now, I can make a phone call and I can have you arrested on the spot. And by the way, if you sit there and say that restraining orders are only for family, no, actually they're not. You can get a restraining order against somebody in another state. You have to know the law and the system at the end of the day. You don't. I do. So, send something here, see what happens to you. Send something anywhere and see what happens to you. And keep in mind, if you think at the end of the day I don't send anything and nothing will happen to me, oh, it will. We'll be there in November with the attorneys to basically file criminal charges against you. We'll be seeking the judge for a 302 for psychiatric evaluation, because judging by the bulk of letters we have back here, we have to come to your neck of the woods to file, and I will be there. Wait till you see my face at the end of the day, Mr. Williams. I can't wait to meet you. I told you at the end of the day, what did I say? In 2025, I'm going to get a chance to meet every single one of you, face to face. I plan to hear, I'm sorry. I plan to hear that I have special problems. I plan to hear all that stuff at the end of the day. All the excuses, you know. I love this. I've taken people to court many times before, and we get the same kind of big, bold attitude. But the minute they walk into a courtroom, the whole attitude changes. You're not that person anymore. You're a different person. You need the judge to like you as much as possible, because that's the person who has the ability to give you whether super time in jail or basically take everything from you. Polite as can be, but the problem is the evidence we have against you show a different story. All right, Fernando. $80,000 it is. I'll see you, and I'm going to file this, and you'll have some process service come to your front door. I think I'm going to open up the case for the CCB too on top of that. Might as well. Let me see. I'm going to file one of them. That's $30,000. CCB, Copyright Claims Board. There we go. Let's get this started right now for you, okay? So, that mind you, the first time we had the process server come to your front door, I gave you a break, right? I gave you a break, and you went in and you attacked me again. This time, Fernando, because I know how to work, I know how to follow the paperwork, I've done this before already, it's very easy for me to apply for this. I will make sure he has ample amount of time to serve you anywhere you go. And I will make sure this process server I'm going to be hiring at the end of the day will go anywhere you go. He'll sit outside your house and he will wait for you to come out of there, and he will serve you. And I'm going to give him full permission to serve either you or your wife, because that's the option I was given the first time. Who do I want to serve? I'm going to make sure I serve both of you. I don't care who gets it, as long as somebody gets it. So, and you said at the end of the day, so I'm doing this because I hate you. Jaime, you're a criminal. At the end of the day, it has nothing to do with hatred. You are a criminal. That's what you are. And this is what happens to criminals. What do you think? People celebrate and throw you a party? Oh, fantastic. He's a criminal. He's robbed and ripped off people. He stole from people. Let's celebrate this. Let's celebrate. No, you're a criminal. You don't belong here, man. If you're a citizen, which I wish you were. Oh, man, I wish you were a citizen. My lawyers couldn't wait to get Fernando in that freaking seat to test. Oh, they couldn't wait. Couldn't wait. They couldn't wait to dig their nails into you. There's so many questions. And mind you, everything you say is on court documented. But we won't get that option now. But we can sue you. We can do that. And if you get one criminal charge pops up on there with a judge, you're in trouble. You know what's going to be in that courtroom. You know what's going to show up. That control order is going to show up on there. It's going to flag right up there. And they're going to contact them and say, hey, we got somebody in the courtroom undocumented. He has massive criminal charges on him. We need somebody to come deal with this. Now, Jaime, if you sit there and say, oh, he restricted me. No, Jaime, I restrict you at the end of the day because you don't know how to act right. I ask you simple questions. How do you react? You curse, you carry on, you scream, you yell. I don't have time to entertain that. I block you. I give you you got a 24-hour timeout. That's what you have right now. That's why you were removed, because you don't act right. I got a history of you, and we go to your website and ask you simple questions. You go into these crazy rants. That's what you do. So again, as I said before, you're going to owe me money. First, you owe me $80,000. That's what you're going to pay me. And then we'll go higher than that. I might get you with a couple of 12,000s here and there. I'm suing your wife, by the way. Because I know what she had to know. That small apartment at the end of the day, you mean to tell me she didn't know any of your activity? At all? Nothing? I'm going to file a lawsuit against your wife. And I know her name, too. First and last name. I know her name. You're married. You have a marriage certificate, right? Do they have a marriage certificate? We got to dig into that now. Because you're undocumented. There's a lot of stuff we got to dig into. Do you know any different agencies are going to be in trouble for this stuff? When they start digging into this stuff, how many people did stuff by? Oh, my goodness. We got to dig into that marriage certificate. Are you guys really married? Are you legally married? We got to dig into that. Where did you get married at? Now we got to dig. I got to hire somebody. I got to bring somebody in. We got to dig into your past now. I got to dig in. We got to deep root your past now. We got to figure out when you got here. When did you actually get here? Because in your YouTube videos, I think you were here before the YouTube videos. So when did you actually get here? It's not a pen investigator. I know what to get. I'm not going to get him. I got somebody else. I got to dig in that. When you first came here. When did you first come here? Were you a kid when you came here? These questions that I don't like to dig into. But now I'm curious on this level. Did you come over here as an adult? Or did you come over here when you were a kid? Because if you came over as a kid, that means your mother and father are not documented. So how many of you are documented? See, Jamie, that's the problem you're going to have at the end of the day. This is why you should have kept and shut your mouth and stayed quiet. Now, do I care about that? No. If I find out what I find out, I'm not saying anything about it because I really don't care at the end of the day. But I need to know on that end. But them, on the other hand, will know. They want to dig through all that stuff. They want to find out exactly when you first came here, who brought you over here, did you come with your mother and father, are they documented, how many of your family, that's what you opened up at the end of the day. Why didn't you just shut up when you came over? You didn't do that, did you? Mister, now you can open up a can on everybody. But I'm going to dig through it because I want to find out. I just want to know for my personal thoughts. I couldn't care less. Would I give that information? No, it's none of their business. My business is me and you at the end of the day. It has nothing to do with them. I don't care about them. It's only me and you. That's it. If I find out your wife knew all this stuff that was going on and she didn't do anything, I'm suing her because she's responsible too. Other than that, I don't care about everything else. I don't. Your mother, your father, your brothers, your sisters, I don't care about them. It's between me and you and now your wife. If I find out she had anything to do with this or she knew anything about this, I'm filing a lawsuit against her. So, I want to find out when you first came here. That's what I want to know. When you first got here. That's what I'm going to find out. And it won't take long. So how long did you have? You would dig into how far you first popped up on YouTube to go back and say exactly, trace exactly how long ago when you first got here. If you came here as a kid, let's see, you're roughly 51 years old, right? You're about 51. Your birthday probably roughly 52, but you're around in the age range in there. So you could have came here as a teen. Yeah, we have to figure it out exactly how long you've been here. I'm going to find out something interesting, Jamie. I'm going to explain something to you. The fellow I'm going to hire, he's Mexican. He's a person who tracks down people too also. He has an interest in you. He doesn't like you at all. He doesn't like you for the fact that you make his people look bad. He's going to do it for free because he doesn't like you. Isn't that interesting? And if you sit there and say, oh, he's a traitor, how's he a traitor, Jamie? He's debreeding the cancer and getting rid of the parasite. That's what he's doing. Someone is here that's making his people look bad. He's getting rid of the cancer. That's what you are. You're a parasite, a cancer. That's what you are. He's getting rid of you. That's why he's doing it for free. So let's get this straight. You come here, break the law, violate everything you can possibly think of under the sun, you can think of. And then you want to get mad at your own people at the end of the day because they come against you for things that you're doing to make them look bad. It sounds like Mexican Trump. It literally sounds like Trump in and out. So with that being said, then today that he's going to be the one to basically track down exactly when you first got here. But you're going to call him racist too? Because you're mad at the end of the day? You'll figure it out. I bet you in about 2 days' time we'll have all that information on when you first came here. Because now I'm curious about that. When did you first come here? Because the marriage certificate. Do you have a marriage certificate? Were you married here? I'm curious. What is required for a marriage certificate? I know I'm not married. What is required for a marriage certificate? Marriage certificate must have marriage license or a valid government issue ID. Well, that's another thing. Social Security? No, you don't have one. You don't got one here, you don't. You need a Social Security number. You don't have one of those. You know when they asked me at the end of the day, how do we know you didn't have paperwork on you? I said, you told on yourself. Because I asked you, because we were hoping you were. I hope you were, but you're not. Very much better because you can stay here with us and we can prosecute you, but we can't because you're going to be with somebody else. But I sat there and said that we are looking into this because I don't want to lose money in this process of paying for all this court costs. I mean, suing you is a different story, but this whole trial thing, that's going to take time, whatever, so and so and so. And if they take you away from us and we pay all that money out, I'm going to be out this money. They're not giving me that money back. They're going to reimburse me. And if anybody sits there and say, no. I paid $100 for a process server, and I paid another $100 for CCB. Did I get that money back? No. That's money I didn't get back. Did he pay me the money back? No. Then there you go. So, since someone's going to pay me Mr. Bird's money back, and it's going to cost me money to file for these cases at the end of the day, who's paying me back this money? Nobody, right? All right then. Then we had to look into it. So the buddy said, make sure that he's documented. If he's not documented, that money you put in there, you're not going to get it back if they take them. Which is true. They're going to override anything we have to say. So the first thing I said on camera, this is what we're going to have to do. And the first thing he came out and said was, I'm being deported for giving an honest opinion. No one said you were being deported. You said you were being deported. All I said was at the end of the day that we have to make sure that you are documented so we can basically try you in court. That's it. You said that you were being deported. Why would you mention something at the end of the day, especially for a person who has paperwork already, would have never made that statement? Because the first thing he would have said was, yeah, you can't deport me at the end of the day. I got paperwork. And then he would have showed the paperwork. You disappeared for 11 days. I got to document it. You ghost for 11 days. And then you just popped up out of nowhere. I guess you thought everything calmed down already. People don't do that who can back things up. If someone can back something up, they're going to show you documents right away. If you say somebody over there, hey, you were never in the military, that person's going to pull out a military ID. They're going to show pictures of their troop, the people they've spent time with, the whole nine. They're going to show everything. Somebody went to Yale, Princeton, Harvard, whatever those places, Ivy League schools, sit there and say, oh, you never went to college, you went to community. Nothing wrong with community, but you know how these people are at the end of the day. No, I didn't go to community. I went to Princeton. They will literally pull up sweatshirts, t-shirts, whatever, diploma, all that. Yeah, they will. They'll definitely do that. Because people are known for showing basically who they are at the end of the day. You don't tell me I'm not this person. Just like, oh, this product we make at the end of the day. You can't, and no one can walk in and say my product doesn't work. I got tons of demonstrations to back myself up on every freaking level you could possibly think of. People like to show at the end of the day that they can back it up. Now, a person who doesn't back it up is a person who doesn't have it to begin with. Like when I asked Mr. Williams about his information, about his clergy ID, where he went to school to get his doctorate and all that, he couldn't give me anything. He decided to give me 3 videos behind a Burlington coat factory ranting at me. That's not a person that can back something up. You don't have that information. You're not that person. So why would you disappear like that? And why would you make that statement? And then that's when it all came together. You're undocumented. So we went and registered with ICE. Now ICE is a criminal unit. That unit is designed to pick up people that are committing crimes in the United States. That's what they're for. You committed crimes, didn't you? Touched copyright without permission, counterfeiting, all that stuff. That's a crime, right? All right, then that's why they're being contacted. They were contacted. But you want to call everybody racist. So if we're racist, then you didn't do anything wrong, right? You didn't break the law. All this I made up. You run a legitimate business. You have no problem contacting the proper authorities, which we told you to contact, which you won't do. So what's going on there? All right, then. We'll see you in court then. All you got to do when you get to court is show up and make sure you can back up anything we said against you. And if you can't, well, you'll lose everything. And you're going to red flag people at the end of the day that are going to make it look like, oh, it's a public domain. This guy went out and basically got sued in court for violation of a company or doing this, that, and the other. It's going to come up. It's going to start in criminal investigation. Criminal investigation is going to bring in ICE. But bigger thing I have here is you said you and your wife are married, right? So in order to get married, you have to have a social security number. You don't have one of those because you're not a citizen. Where did you get married at? That means you didn't get married here. You got married somewhere else. You got married in another country. And if you got married in another country, it means your wife doesn't have documents either. unless she has documents and she lives here and she married you to keep you in the country. So we have to go look into that now. They're going to look into it either way. So you're married. Where were you married at? Because again, you have to be a show you're a citizen. If you're a citizen, you have Social Security number. You have all that stuff. You get all that stuff through citizenship. They give you all that. You get a Social Security number. You get freaking everything you need, basically. Government ID, all that stuff. You get everything you have. Certificates, everything you need. I got friends of mine right now that are here in the country who have all that paperwork. They went and got lawyers and got all that stuff done. So, you can get all this stuff and everything they want. Your storage unit's under your sister's name. It's not under yours. That's who owns the storage unit, not you. Storage unit, you have to have state ID to get those. So you don't have a state ID. That means the entire time you were driving around in that motorcycle and in that car, you didn't have a proper license. You're driving without a license. We got you in vehicles multiple times showing you driving around. You didn't have a license. Now, Fernando, let me explain something to you. Another red flag that came up, that we know that came up. You've been in the same apartment for almost 10 years. No one stays in a unit that long. Nobody does. Nobody does it, ever. The minute someone has kids, they upgrade automatically. Because you got a one-bedroom apartment in there. Who stays in an apartment for that long? In the storage unit you have in there, you just have toys in there. You got the bag in there. That's basically about it. But you got toys in there. Your apartment's packed. You haven't moved any place at all. I've been in multiple houses. You know, you make more money, people move. Everybody does that. It's what we do. That's your miser, but other than that, most people do that. Get more money, get a better car. Get more money, get better furniture. Get more money, get better clothes. It's just how we are. And you stayed in the same spot for that long. Another red flag. That's a major red flag that popped up. Been at the same job too. That printing place you've been at. Because they paid you under the table. We know about that too. We know a lot of stuff on you, man. At the end of the day, I told you. The printing press you work at, they paid you under the table. You didn't get a paycheck. You made a mistake. You said something in your video when you said moving on to bigger and better things. You said you're about to get a raise. That's what you said in the video. But you've been working at that place for a very long time. Because I remember you did a video. You walked in, you showed the place where you worked at. We have that documented, showing you walking into this building. It's all recorded. It's documented. We've been tracking you for a very long time. Your video's been showing. You've been keeping documents on you just in case if anything popped up. Certain things come up. And we showed you walking into a printing unit. You showed people in there that you walked around where you worked at, which we saw. And you said, I just got a raise, which means you've been in that place for a long time. But people mostly says, I'm about to get another raise. I got multiple raises because they like to brag about all the other raises they got. That's how we are. And they'll say, I'm about to get me another raise. It's going to bring me up to so and so and so. Everybody says that. They started me off, I got like 10 cent, 25 cent raise, and then they bring me up to $1. And now since I've been there for a long line, I got a little seniority, they're going to bring me up to $5, including the other raises. This is going to bring me up to so and so and so. People do that. And the minute they make that extra money, what do you go do? You go spend it. Because now your wallet's a little bit bigger. So now you get something to basically enjoy. You get a better car, maybe a better apartment. You start upgrading, like, I ain't going to be here anymore. I got more money now. I'm going to look at another place. That's what we do. But you haven't done any of that. And when you said I'm about to get a raise, you said a raise, not another raise, which means that if you were getting a raise, that would be your first raise in that amount of time. Usually when people are paid under the table, unless they're basically know the owners, they become friends with the owners over there, they can get certain benefits here and there. They won't get the benefits that you get for basic dental and all that stuff and insurance and all that stuff. You won't get all that stuff at all, period. Because they got to register you. Oh, shoot, I just thought about something. They had you working there, and you're an EIN number, which means they were supposed to report you. And under an oh, shoot, they're in trouble. They're supposed to report him, because under an EIN number, this is where if you have employees, this is where I applied for an EIN number, and I basically went in, and I put down in the application, I had one person that was working with me. I didn't have one person, it was just me. I counted myself as one. See, if I had lied on that document with the IRS and said that I was basically had 10 people working with me because I wanted to show off like Fernando and show at the end of the day that, oh, it's a big organization. This would have got me thrown in jail. Because they're sitting there, wait, you got 10 people? How the fuck you got 10 people? You would have to have the social security numbers to those people. They would have to have when you file for your application, your social security number's on there. The person who runs the business sees your social security number. This is what he submits in for your EIN number. So those employees have to basically submit those documents into their IRS. So bottom line is, from your end, if you was working in that place, that law firm under the table, you weren't basically registered under the EIN number, which means they didn't put you on it, which means they can get a lot of trouble for that. Good gracious. Oh my goodness. So when I filed for my EIN number, I put down one person. Then they called me in for that. I had to go to IRS over that mess. And I'm sitting there in front of 5 people in front of this panel like, oh man, what the freak am I doing in here for? And he says, well, basically you have one person. Who's the other person? I said, it's me. I'm the other person. See, I didn't lie. I just said myself. And the guy was like, no, you can't put yourself as another person. You have to put another person as that person. And I go, oh, okay, sorry, my bad. But that happens all the time. People do that when they first follow the things out. And they say, who else works there? They always put themselves in. It's a common mistake. So I was like, go on it. But if I had put down 10 or 5 people trying to show off, I'd have gotten in trouble for that. Like you did when you said your company around for 5 months when it actually been around for a couple of years. He's in trouble for that. So you're getting paid under the table. And if you got married, you didn't get married here. Because you couldn't get certificates. That's impossible. What's required to have a storage unit? 18 years old, credit card, debit card, government ID. He doesn't have a government ID. Government ID, you have to show, let me see, what's the name for government ID? I had to show birth certificate and social security card for mine. What you need to have a government state ID? Yeah, we got internet there. What do you need to have a government state ID? Proof of social security number, you have to have that. Do you have to have that? You need a copy of a document. United States birth certificate, you need that. United States passport, you need that. Social security document. Yeah, you have to have that. Utility bill, bank statement, stuff like that. Proof of address, you have to have all that stuff. So when I went in for my state ID, I had to have birth certificate, social security number. I had to have birth certificate. I already had all that stuff. I had to go, because I lost my social security, I had to go get another one. That was easy to do. And I had to go file in Harrisburg to get the, whatchamacallit, the other one, get my, but I wasn't actually born there. I was born someplace else. You jokers, every time I feel I'm born, yeah, you don't know where I'm born at. I wasn't born in Philly. Please. I wasn't even born in Delaware. I was born someplace else. You don't know anything about me at all. I know a lot about you. I know a whole lot about you guys. These jokers, I know a lot about you guys. But anyway, yeah, nowhere in the world he has that. How about you show state ID? Official, the hologram on it. Show it that you have one. See, that's the thing about it. Even when we said you were undocumented, you would at least show the state ID. And you didn't show that either. That means you were driving the entire time. When you're going back and forth to Home Depot, you didn't have a license to drive in the state of California. Gee, man, you were breaking the law so many different ways. It's not even funny. You probably couldn't have insurance. You could have a license to get insurance, so your car wasn't even insured. So, bottom line is, when you went to the storage unit, somebody held the camera for you. I guarantee that was probably your sister who held the camera for you. Because it's her unit. She has to be there. Man, I tell you. All right, Jenny. I'll see you in November. We'll get ready to file a lawsuit against you. $80,000. That's what we're going to want out of you. So, pretty sure you got about $80,000 worth of stuff in there. That'll be for the first lawsuit. After that, there'll be a little lower than that. There'll be around $12,000 a piece. You got about 4 of them going off. About $40,000 to $50,000 right long combined together. And then after that, we have the copyrights coming up. We got one with CCB. That's going to be $30K. And then the other one based in court, the federal court for copyright infringements, which we can show multiple times. You probably won't show up for court and everything else. We're going to get you for $1 million. That'll cover everything else. That should basically be it. Let's see how long it takes for them to come in and pick you up between us suing you. If you sit there and say, well, he needs some money. I don't need your money. You don't have anything, man. What are we going to get out of that collection? I mean, half the stuff you have in there, you're probably not going to get much for it. You're not going to get much for it at the end of the day. And all, period. I'd say, Ruff, you don't have $1 million. There's no way you're going to need to pay that. And another reason why, Jamie, we knew at the end of the day you weren't documented, which is the number one at the end of the day. If you were documented, Fernando, you could have hired an attorney to slap me with the cease and desist order to shut up while I was on YouTube talking about this over and over again and again. You know why I brought it up multiple times? Because we knew you could not hire an attorney. You can't hire an attorney at all, period. And the reason why you can't hire an attorney because they can't slap me with anything to tell me to shut up about this due to the fact that it's true. You could have easily gotten an attorney. You know where I'm at. You could have had a document come here and say, hey, look, we'll slap you with a cease and desist order because you're making false claims about my client. It's defamation at the end of the day because that's what I'd be committing, defamation against you if it was true, if you were a citizen and you belonged here. But either way, that still wouldn't help you if you were a citizen either way because of the charges we have against you. So, yeah, no. But either way, still, you could have followed that. You could have said, hey, shut it down. You don't right. You can talk about the criminal charge. You can't talk about that because it's not true. And how long has it been since I made that statement? It's been a couple months, right? And you didn't have an attorney contact me and shut me down by saying that I couldn't make that statement, right? All right, then. That means everything I said was true. If I'm wrong about this, Jamie, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you to the end of the week to have an attorney reach out to me and tell me that I can't make that statement about saying that you're undocumented. And I mean a real attorney. At the end of the day, I want to see the document, paper, send it all to me. You got my address. You know what? I'm here in my office. Send it to me. I want to see it. With your address attached to it and your name, all your information on it. I got your address anyway, right here. Get an attorney who says I can't say this. And if you can't get an attorney to say this, then that means you just outed again to everybody on YouTube what you are. Now, if you sit there and say, Fernando, no, Jamie. If you sit there and say, oh, he's coming at me because no, we're coming at you, Jamie, because you're a criminal. That's what you are. And if you're a criminal and you're coming to this country to break the law and commit crimes, you don't belong here. Just like if I go to Mexico right now and I commit serious crimes on there, I do the same actions you did, I'm pretty sure the Mexican people don't want me there. And they got that right. They got a right to get me to freak out of their country. Like, man, you got to go, man. You committing all kinds of crimes. You got to, I'm pretty sure. So if I don't have a right to go down there and commit crimes down there, then you don't have a right to come here. See how that works at the end of the day? Ain't no special privilege. What the freak is wrong with you? They want people to come to their country. They want to be law-abiding citizens. They're going to respect their country at the end of the day. You come here, we want the same thing. We want respect. And you didn't give us any of that, did you? So I'm getting you out. You're leaving. Touch my copyrights at the end of the day, you lost your freaking mind at the end of the day. Touch other people's trademarks, do what the freak you want to do, you're leaving. But before you leave out of here, I'm going to take all your money from you. And tell your wife at the end of the day that I'm filing a lawsuit against her. I have her first and last name at the end of the day, and I'm going to basically go in and file a lawsuit against your wife. Because again, I believe 100% she had to know everything that was going on in that apartment. And she did nothing to stop it whatsoever. And I'm pretty sure she enjoyed that money that you made out of ripping off those companies at the end of the day. I know she did. So again, get you in a lot of trouble. If you knew someone was committing a crime and you participated, aren't you in trouble? Yep. Accessory to crime. Accessory to what's it called? Accessory to crime. Yeah. That's like being a getaway driver for a bank. You go in and you didn't rob the bank, you didn't walk in, you didn't push any guns to anybody. but you were in the vehicle and you drove the vehicle. You go to jail. Sometimes you get just as much jail time as that person at the end of the day. I mean, if you hide somebody that broke, you're going to jail. You're definitely going to jail for that. Can't do that. Aiding and abetting? Oh, heck yeah, they're going to charge you for that. And she knew 100% that he was going to commit these crimes. Especially, she participated and enjoyed in the money. Now, she's just saying, no, I ain't touching that money today. That's stolen money. That's the money you went today, and you did this and that with it. I'm not touching it. I'm not getting involved in this. I'm out of this. She's not responsible. But she went out and she ate from that money. She went out and had fun with that money at the end of the day. Guess what? You're a part of that. Because you knew it was stolen money. That's like receiving stolen goods. Your buddy comes in, your spouse comes in, and he rips off someplace, and he gets like 100 PlayStation 5s or whatever he gets at the end of the day, and you took one of them for yourself. There you go. Going to jail. Can't do that. So they're going to sit there and answer at the end of the day when they brought on the stand is that you had no idea that any of this activity was going on. Now, say if you had a business somewhere else, like somewhere way away from the house or the apartment, right? She wouldn't have found out about that because she probably wouldn't have known. That's why they have apartments. They have the business way out in the middle somewhere. So she could say honestly, like, I didn't even know he was running a business like that. You know, I never heard about it. Because she would have never heard about it. Unless he told her about it, then she would know. But that's what most people do. They run a business way over there. And in that way, their wife or whatever would probably be against the business or couldn't know about the business. But he ran that right out of the apartment. So there's no way in the world she couldn't have found out. There you go. And at that, she needs to go get a checkup too. Because again, with that much stuff they were printing out in that place, those chemicals linger in the air, she needs to get a checkup for her lungs. Because I'm pretty sure those lungs are damaged. Keep in mind, you may feel great at the end of time. This is the interesting thing about lung disease and lung damage at the end of the day. You may feel great at the time. This is a slow burn process. It takes time, but it does in a amount of months. When you start getting these lymph nodes in your chest, infection, balls of infection that form up in your lungs. And this causes all kinds of mucus build up in your chest with the infection pushing through to your mouth. It comes to your mouth, the mucus build up. You get these little lymph nodes that pull up, little lumps pop up all over your lungs. It's called scarring tissue. That's what it becomes. And then you start getting the shortness of breath and the headaches and migraines, and then nerve damage follows behind that. And worse upon worse, you can have something called organs start to shut down. That's what that triggers off. That's what those machines trigger off. It's cause and effect. He's running 3 of those things in that tiny apartment with very little air ventilation. So everybody in that apartment may have some lung issues. What's the potential hazard of potential habit of breathing the fumes from a 3D printer? Potential hazard of breathing the fumes from a 3D printer. Breathing the fumes, exposure from a 3D printer, particularly in a poorly ventilated space, exposure to health hazards due to the release of particles, so a violation of the other compounds of VOC, several risks depending on the printer type. I actually researched your printer, Fernando, when I got it on the still shot. Your printer is one of those printers. And you guys have been exposed to this machine, even the materials that it takes and the types of materials in which you were printed out. So I did the research on the machine. There's a good chance that you basically caused some very serious damage to your lungs. And you're operating 3 machines in poor ventilation. It's going to cause, can 3D printers cause respiration issues? Yes, they do cause that. Do you have any idea, Fernando, what you're in store for? So bottom line is, these machines at the end of the day, your machine, I researched that basically what damage could that machine cause on any type of plastics. So what you're doing is you're melting, this machine's melting plastic as it's actually printing it out. And that melted fumes, you ever melt plastic before, some of that real toxic fumes, that's pushing all through that apartment. He's operating 3 of these machines in poor ventilation. Keep in mind, for each machine you have to match the ventilation that you have per square inch in the unit that you're using. You didn't. You ran 3 machines at the same time, and you basically maxed out the ventilation that that apartment could possibly push out to clear that environment to make it safe. So you basically poisoned your lung system, including your family or anything else around you. Yes, 3D primers can be bad for lungs because the process release about organism, the compound, the VOC, and you have irritating inhalement, leads to respiration, irritation, inflammatory. Yeah, you best. I've been down this road already before. Buddy, let me explain something to you. From what I went through with the lung disease, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. But I can tell you right now, it's about to be hell on earth for you. If you got that stuff in your system, you're in a lot of trouble. And you were right over top of these machines when you were doing this. Organ shut down. Ooh, which things gets really bad. Let me see. Are the fumes from a 3D printer toxic? Yes, 3D printers fumes are toxic. You printed out that many masks over top that machine, and mind you, from the 12 hours it took you to print it out, that means you went to sleep with that machine on, which means you were breathing in all those fumes. You breathe much, much more heavier when you're asleep, and you were breathing that stuff in. So the first sign of this is coughing. This is the first sign of your lungs shutting down. It's coughing, a lot of coughing. You start with a little itch in your throat. It's what triggers off a little tiny itch. It feels like you got something like caught in the middle of your throat. Like, you know, you get that coughing, but it's not. That's the irritation that's going off in your throat from the poison. Next thing you know, you feel these little pain, like nodule lumps in your chest. Every time you touch one of them, it triggers off a coughing. You start coughing rapidly. This is what shows you at the end of the day that you got real serious lung disease. This is bad, man. You definitely killed yourself. This is pretty bad. Respiratory. That's when my buddy was looking at this. He was like, what the frig? Is this guy trying to kill himself? What hatch associated with Jeebus Louise? Did you read through any of this stuff? How bad this is going to be for this guy? Let me see. I gotta see this. How close do you have to be to a 3D printer to breathe in toxic fumes? Oh, you're screwed. I gotta get something to drink. You screwed yourself. You're in trouble, man. I would go down and see a lung doctor. You and your wife better go see a lung doctor. Let me tell you something, Fernando. They send you over to that place. They don't have medical treatment over there. Majority, sometimes you might not get medical treatment. This is a very painful process to go through. There is no safe distance for a 3D printer as the risk of breathing toxic fumes, which means anywhere in that apartment where those machines are running, you run the risk of catching that poison in your lungs, which I'm pretty sure you already did already. So anywhere you were in there in that apartment, if you were in the next room, if you were in the kitchen, anywhere in that area, yeah, and depending on exactly, your room is a very small area that you're working in. I feel sorry for you, man. I really do. I hope you get better, because man, that's pretty bad. I gotta get some milk. That's good. He definitely damaged him. Definitely damaged him. Oh, heck yeah. Shit, I was in a basement when I breathed in all that mold and got sick. That sucker, he said nowhere. This is why I was thinking about buying one of these. And I tell you, my friend, his place at the end of the day, he has it. His place is huge. So The way his place is set up, he's got these air cleaners in there, purifiers, just you get all their stuff in there. And they wear masks when they're in there. They wear masks, they wear the suits for the irritation of skin. That's what they wear when they're in there, like a hazmatic suit. That's what they do when they operate that big machine in there. So his place is crazy when you walk up in there. But you ran this out of an apartment. Are you stupid at the end of the day? Do you have any idea what that says right there? There is no safe distance, which means you are over top this machine. Oh, poor ventilation. Keeps bringing this up over again. You got poor ventilation in that apartment. Dude, you got to get a checkup by a doctor. You got to get a checkup by a doctor. You definitely got lung disease. You got some kind of lung poisoning. You got it. It don't take much. It don't take much. It doesn't. It doesn't take much. He breathes in. How long this video is for? 2 months? So 2 months of breathing that stuff in? Wow. See? This is what happens when you follow Satan. This is literally what happens when you follow Satan. 2 months? You spent 2 months breathing this stuff in that little apartment, running 3 machines? And it says right there, there's no usual safe distance from these machines. That's why I wonder why I look at my buddy when he's using his machine. He's in there and he's got freaking this. I'm looking at him coming into the window like an ET, like ET and the whole man. Like, you got to wear all that? He said, yeah. These machines can kill you. They can give you cancer. I would operate that thing outside. There's no way in the world I'd be operating that thing. I'd be terrified to operate with them inside. That is crazy. There's usually no safe distance for a 3D printer, as the risk of breathing in toxic fumes, depending on the material that the printer is poorly ventilated. Fumes can occur and become toxic regardless of how far away you are. He poisoned himself. Let me tell you something, man. I told you that in life, you got to pay for stuff, man. You got to. That's how life works. And the more stuff you do, the more dirt you do, the dirty stuff you do at the end of the day, the bigger the price. That's a serious price to pay, man. This stuff doesn't happen. When your lungs get attacked by something like that, his lungs could be coated with this stuff. It can be coated with it. He could have breathed in so much of this stuff. His lungs are coated with this stuff. He had to go to a doctor. He had no windows open when he was operating the 3 machines. No windows were open because the machine was laying against the windows and they were shut. The door wouldn't have been enough. That's not enough. You don't have enough in there to do it. My buddy looked at that. He says he doesn't have enough. The window you have in the kitchen, not enough. And not in the kitchen, but he had a window in the near the whatchamacallit, in the dining area. That's not enough. You literally don't have enough in here. Airflow. It's almost like equivalent, like you stuck yourself in a mason jar, man, with burning plastic. And you killed yourself. Critical ventilation is the most important factor in 3D printing. Yeah, ventilation. He didn't have ventilation in there. He had little airflow in there, dangerous fumes. Building time to never run a 3D printer in a closed space. Oh yeah, for extended periods of time, such as overnight in a bedroom. And he ran that machine overnight because he said it took 12 hours to make those masks at the end of the day. Which means that if you started printing those masks, yeah, he ran that thing overnight. You know he ran that thing overnight. Good gracious, stupid. He killed yourself. You literally killed yourself. Well, you know, like I said, but there's a number of reasons why you're not going to be here, because this will definitely do it. Minimum exposure and toxic fumes follow these. Use proper ventilation. Everybody says proper ventilation. You didn't use any of that whatsoever. Windows, let me see. Well ventilation room, such as a garage or studio. Yeah, because garages can open up an entire door. You can have all that air flushing in and out. I have a friend of mine who has a 3D printing business, and yes, you can have it in this garage. He had a zone for it. It has 2 big fans, 2 duct systems behind him, and the door, and air constantly flushes in and out of the area. Simple potential as a window increases airflow. He had no fans in the windows. You didn't see that at all, period. Nothing. Because he has air conditioning in there, and that won't help you. Invest in exploration. Invest in exploration. High level safety place printer. Look, man, I'll see you for 12 grand. That's it. You know why? You're gonna die. I hate to say it, you're gonna die, man. I've been to this. I've done this one already with lung disease. And mind you, my area was bigger than you. That basement I was in, that's where I caught the lung disease at, in that apartment, that house over there. My area was bigger than yours, and I still got sick, and I got really, really sick. You, on the other hand, your apartment is small. My basement was bigger than your apartment. Your front room, let's say not the whole apartment, but your front room, my basement's bigger than your front room. And you were in there operating that machine? Minimum time near printer environment, especially the height. Try to avoid hovering over. You did that one too. She was remote control cameras to monitor. So you can't even be in the room with these things. If you're using multiple machines, use the remote control cameras to monitor your printers from another room. Literally right there. Use right here. Remote control cameras to monitor your printer from another room. Oh my goodness. Dude, you freaking poison your family. You poisoned yourself. Yeah, you need to go to a hospital and get your lungs checked. They're going to have to run a camera down your throat. This is going to be painful. And take a small camera, maybe about this big, and they're going to shove this down your throat. Of course, you'll be asleep the entire time. But when they pull this thing out, it's going to feel like somebody took their hand and put it all the way down your throat and put it up. It's pretty sore. Your stomach hurts a lot from it. I had to go through it. You got to go through a biopsy test. Good gracious. Good man. Can you die from a 3D printer? Can you die from inhaling fumes from a 3D printer? Toxic vapors, ultrafine particles. Oh my God, dude! Yeah, I'm not laughing at this. Ultrafine particles. These are particles that are small, so small you can't see. So you're breathing this stuff in. It's attaching to your lungs. He breathed in a lot of that stuff. That's like working with asbestos without a mask. That's literally what he did. I remember that. A lot of people got cancer from asbestos. They had these jobs, I remember they came out way back in the 80s. They paid people like $2,000, $3,000, like an hour to freaking work with asbestos, and a lot of people died and they got cancer from it. Yep, I remember that. I remember those jobs, man. I never worked one ever. My mom would never have me work with those jobs. But yeah. Oh, here's Doc. Died from asbestos when they first came out, and they were actually putting that stuff out, the insulation stuff, died from it. But the jobs paid a lot of money, but still a lot of people died from cancer and all kinds of stuff. This is ultra-fine particles that can penetrate deep into the lungs. Buddy, if I were you right now, I'd be scared to death. You've been doing this for 2 months. Probably 3 months, probably 5 months, I don't know. But I can tell you one thing. You breathed in a lot of this stuff. And that stuff is in your dogs, it's in your cats, it's in your wife probably. She's definitely poisoned from this stuff. You're definitely poisoned from it. That's a definite yes. You're talking about ultrafine particles? You breathed in so much of this stuff, it's not even funny. You gotta see a lung doctor, man. You gotta get a checkup and see a lung doctor. And don't go to some fake doctor at the end of the day and for YouTube. Dude, this is serious. You could possibly die. You definitely have some kind of lung disease. I guarantee you. Because in that basement I was working at, there was mold spores, extra fine. I couldn't even see them, but they were there. There was tiny spores of mold that were in the air, and I was breathing them in constantly. You can't see them to the naked eye. You can't see them. Only way you can see mold is if you see it in corners and stuff like that. You can see the growing of mold. But them little spores that give off, like little like flowers that give off spores that give you allergy. It's like that. It triggers off like that. They're all in the air, so the air quality is extremely poor. That's why when you go into an area that's moldy, it has a kind of a musty, an area that feels kind of warm in there. That's why. You literally breathe in enough of that stuff to cause all kinds of damages. It don't take much. Let me see how long it would take for this. I'm curious. How many months would it take for your lungs to be poisoned by a 3D printer? You're screwed, buddy. It's shorter time than a month. That's all it takes. You breathe in a lot of that stuff. And Fernando, if I were you, go see a lung doctor. I mean, this serious. No joke. Go see a lung doctor. Because at least if they catch this stuff before those lymph nodes start coming up on your chest, at least you got a fighting chance in this. But if you don't, this is going to wreak some havoc on you. So bottom line is, exposure to a 3D printer can cause lung irritation and damage in a much shorter time than months. You need to go see a doctor. You know what Fernando's going to do? I'm going to tell you what he's going to do. He's going to ignore all this. That's what he's going to do. You're going to die. What you're going to have. This stuff will kill you. You breathed in that much in that small apartment. I'm going to get the cubic feet of your apartment and calculate by the projector, the units that you used in there, and see exactly how much toxic each one of those units give off. And I guarantee you, you were trapped in a mason jar at the end of the day. Gee whiz Louise. Exposure to a 3D printer can cause lung irritation and damage in as much as shorter time than months, especially without proper ventilation, which you did not have. Harmful organic compounds, the VOC, and irritation of particular particles are during the printing. So it gives off these particles on the door. And they can cause lung cells within hours of exposure. It said hours of exposure, Fernando. Within hours of exposure. It can cause damage in lung cells within hours of exposure. You were over top these machines and you were basically breathing the entire time, which means you've been doing these videos for probably, roughly, I say about 5 months, right? About 5 months in. So 5 months, you were breathing this stuff in for 5 months. You can't sue that company. You know why? Because you hadn't been operating them in that environment. Can we see this? I want to see a 3D printer. I gotta look at this. This is actually, I mean, I feel sorry for him, but I'm just curious about this. That's why he's in there with the hazmatic suit. That's what I can understand why he walked around looking like the guy, like he's doing nuclear splitting of an atom in there. Like, why are you wearing all this equipment? It's like, yeah, because we have to, because the machine's in here. I see why. An hour? Are you kidding me? This is why when I read all this, I read some of this about the irritation lungs. I was like, oh, heck no. I wouldn't dare go near one of these things. Lung and cell intoxication is the effect of 3D printer. Gee whiz. These things are dangerous. 3D printer. 3D printer, it's called cancer. Related to between 3D printers and cancer is a complex. Not fully understood why there is definitely evidence that 3D printers are directly caused to cancer. You can literally get cancer out of this. Potential health risks associated. So there's cancer that comes from this. Gee whiz Louise. Well, Fernando, you know, the devil at the end of the day, like I said, he is designed to destroy your life. And he tries everything he possibly can, like I told you to get you off this planet, one way or another. And he literally got you in there, 3D printing, running a legal business in there, and using machines that now, what I've read from here, you could have a very serious lung disease, or basically, you could have cancer out of this mess. And you were operating 3 machines in there. What are the risks of operating 3 3D printing machines in a small apartment? Oh, he's screwed. He's so screwed. It's not funny. Let's see. Operating three 3D printers in a small apartment, possible significant health and safety risks, primary concern, toxic fumes, fire hazard, electric overload, the small exposure in space in the apartment, magnifies three dangerous. Oh man, dude, you have really messed up. Notice health risk causes fumes. Oh, jeez. Dude, I'm going to tell you something. You're in a lot. You got to go see a doctor. You got to go see a doctor. You're in a lot of trouble. He's in danger right now. He breathed in a lot of this stuff. And he's probably still 3D printing right now. So, Satan got you to... He got you to steal from companies. He got you to operate an illegal business out of your apartment. And he got you to operate a machine that he knew would kill you. I'm going to tell you something, man. I don't wish anything bad on anybody at the end of the day. But from what I just read in those topics over there, you poisoned yourself. You got to go see a doctor. And if you're going to sit there and deny it, let me tell you something. That itch in your throat, those pains you're going to have in your chest pretty soon, because you're definitely going to get it. And that feels like your chest is being squeezed, like you're basically sucking air out of a straw. You're about to feel that. It doesn't take long. Mostly you'll start feeling it's basically the numbness in your fingers and your toes and the headaches and all that stuff. That's what triggers off, and that nerve. Oh, I forgot nerve damage triggers off of that too. So you got to go through that. I pray for you, man. You're going to need it. I'm going to tell you something. It's that bad. I'm going to pray for him. You're going to go through some stuff, man. I told you, man. This is what I told you. Your crossroads are going to be interesting. The devil put you in all this mess at the end of the day. He knew this stuff was going to happen to you. Why didn't you read through those manuals, man? That's what I said at the end of the day. Always wanted to be the big man at the end of the day. Always wanted to be the big man. A tough guy will get you nothing but death and destruction. That's what will bring your way. He's in a lot of trouble. I'm going to get the blueprint on this apartment. The square inch. It's not that big. His apartment's not that big. My apartment over in whatchamacallit is roughly around 1,200 square feet. Juliet apartment. His apartment is roughly, I think, 900 square feet. Your apartment's 900 square feet. I know that for a fact. It's probably about 900 square feet. You got a one-bedroom apartment. You don't have enough. You don't have enough square footage in there to run 3 machines. Let me see. What is the size of the environment to run 3 3D printing machines? And then what I've read through here, if these people are printing these machines, using the machines, and they're printing these machines in closed areas, they're automatically going to suffer from cancer in the long run. Cancer, lung disease, all that stuff. That's what my buddy wears those hazmatic suits in that unit he's in. There's all kinds of warnings on this stuff. Of course, you're melting plastic. What do you think happens if you melt plastic? Plastic gives off a toxic chemical. Minimum space for 3 standard machines. If you use minimum footprint space. How big of a workspace do you have to run 3 3D printing machines? Gee whiz. Yeah, he screwed himself. So basically, to run 3 of these 3D printing machines, you need a workspace that accommodates each printer. Workspace that accommodates each printer. So each one of these printers have to be in separate compartments. Okay, ventilation, plus space tools, and primary space tools, depending on the printer's footprint. And that allows minimum space for standard printer scale. That's it. I understand the printer. Let's see, 2050. So it's going to say. Yeah, he don't have the room for that. What I don't trust about the do actually my buddy has this place set up for this. This place is big. There's 24,000 square feet in this unit. This place is big. It has big windows that open, doors open up. Ain't trying to get any problems with it. But the problem you have with this, usually when they bring out technology like this, people die from this technology. They do. A lot of people die. They get cancer, all kinds of stuff pops up later on in time, poison, cancer, and then later on they ban the machine. It usually always happens that way. Enough people die from them, they start banning them. These machines are dangerous. I just read through a whole lot of stuff in there, man. At the end of the day, you've got to be freaking kidding me. Now I see why he wears the suits. He wears a full hazmatic suit in there with a respirator system on connected to him, so it's his mask. And you see him walking around in there. They got these huge doors that come up, these huge fans that push air back and forth. And when I come in there, he said, "You can't even walk in this unit. I can't even go in there." It's crazy how he has it set up in there. Yeah, those things are dangerous. You're burning plastic. And this Joker, I hate to say it, but he breathed in enough of this stuff to kill him. He did. He literally did. He got to go see a lung doctor. So if anybody knows this guy at the end of the day, you live next to him, advise him to go see a lung doctor. You got to get his lungs checked out. Dude, you breathe in a lot of this stuff, man. These areas are different. These areas are well ventilated. These are big open areas that they're running these machines in. And you're running this machine in that tiny apartment. You don't have enough room in there to run these things at all, period. And you breathe a lot of this stuff in. Those particles that come out the machine are called ultrafine particles. You can't see that stuff, but you're breathing it in. And this stuff will coat your lungs at the end of the day. And you're about to go through a really bad experience, man. I wouldn't wish what I went through with my lung disease on anybody in the world. It is going to be bad, man. And on top of that, it's not the worst of it. The anxieties that come behind that stuff is mind-blowing at the end of the day. Oh my God, they're all going to go through something. You need to get the dogs checked. Everybody get them checked. You need somebody to go through that apartment. That's why code enforcement got to be brought in. And I'm thinking about the other people who could have breathed that stuff in too. That's why I said things like this, it's great and all, it's not a great idea, but the risks are way too high to operate a machine like that. Now I'm going to be out in the open. I'm going to be outside because I'm scared to get my lungs jacked up. I've been through that one already. I don't want to do that again. But it's just, it's kind of reminds of the drones. It does. It's a drone scenario. Same thing. When the drones came out, everybody had them. Everybody had drones. They're flying them all over the place. And then they came and said, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to regulate these things now. Now you got to register the zones. You can't be in certain spaces with them. You can't fly here. You can't fly there. You got to be only in certain, even parks don't even allow those things in there anymore. But they didn't have these regulations when they first launched these drones at the end of the day. Same thing's going to happen with this. They're going to start passing laws and saying who and who can have these things. And they're going to make sure that people in residential spaces, you can't have them. They're going to make that so. Only big industrial companies can have them. You're going to have to show some kind of license or whatever, so. Because they're going to make it so that if you own one of these machines, you got to have the proper building for it, you got the proper ventilation for it, you have to have insurance, all that stuff to clear one of those machines. Watch it happen. Watch it happen, because you know what's going to happen? A whole lot of people are going to get cancer off that machine. But what I read in that thing at the end of the day about that machine at the end of the day, that's some scary stuff in there. You can be anywhere in the environment and that you can get sick on those machines. That's what's scary about it. And you got people operating these machines. So these people are operating, making their own stuff. Right? These people are making their own stuff. There's nothing wrong with making stuff. What he's doing is wrong. He's ripping off companies at the end of the day. You can't do that. That's wrong. But for what he's operating in there and the a little amount of space he has on there, and I took it to a friend of mine, he's an expert in that field because again, that's what he does for a living, and he said, no, his space is too small. And from what I've read in there, it takes about a couple of hours for that stuff to start embedding itself into your lungs. So, Fernando, if you are in this room, I'm advising you strongly. I know you got a hard hit at the end of the day, but you may want to go see a lung doctor. Because if you don't, and this thing basically starts to spread through your lungs, you could have anything from deterioration to your lungs. It's one of the things I was lucky about or blessed when they put that camera down my throat, that my lungs didn't start to deteriorate. If they do that, you're going to have a lot of problems on your hands. You're going to be hospitalized. You have a tabletop and 3 small ones. That's dangerous, what you have in there. Every person I've seen here has tabletops. He's running a literally table version of one of them in there. .3D printer farms. Now I'm going to walk through this place. You've lost your freaking mind. Reminds me of Vioxx. Reminds me of that mess. A lot of people died from that one too. Pharmaceutical companies who push out chemicals at the end of the day, and they say, hey, it's fine, you can take it, and and then 20 people die off it. They have heart attacks and strokes. That's what happened to Vioxx. They bought Vioxx in the market, and a lot of people got it because they thought it was going to help them. And people died from it. A lot of people died from it. And then they pulled it from the shelf. Oops, my bad. Yeah, that's what you do. You look at it, my bad. He's going to be printing up our screens and stuff. But I'm ready all this stuff today. But then again, like I said, he's licensed and all that stuff. And that's why the warehouse is so big. You run those machines in there. I can see why. Can 3D printers cause cancer? No damage in there. Let me see. How many particles are produced off a 3D printer that can poison your lungs? 3D printers can produce anywhere from 2 to 10 times to 10 times 12 particles per minute. You're screwed. Do you have any idea how badly that is right there? It said per minute. You got 2 to 10 times 8 to 10, 12 particles per minute. You're breathing this stuff in? Are you kidding me? So let's see. These are small enough to penetrate deep into the lungs, enter into the bloodstream. Gracious, is in the bloodstream. You got to put them in. That's a freaking high risk. Yeah, there's a lot of people dying. There's a lot of people dying. It's funny because people read this stuff and they think at the end of the day that it's not going to harm them at the end of the day. We got to have a mask on to wear this stuff, man. So for the timeline that he had this machine and how long he's been printing, how many he has, and calculate the square, how small the apartment is and what he's operating in there, he's got lung damage. I guarantee he's got lung damage. You gotta go see a doctor. They're gonna run that camera down his throat. You're gonna see all white scarring in his throat and lungs. I guarantee you got it. And nobody wishing on you, man. I'm just saying, you got it. There's no in the world you couldn't be unscathed on that one. You breathe that stuff in. If you're running 3 3D printers in your apartment, what are the odds of you getting sick? So He doesn't have proper. It keeps saying over and over again, proper ventilation, proper ventilation, proper ventilation. He doesn't have proper ventilation. And when he was operating the machines, what we saw with the Jason mask, he had all the windows shut. He had the blinds down. And judging by if your front door is open, because of how much light was coming through your blinds, if your door was open, that entire area you were printing at, because the light pushes through your door, you would have right in the line of that, your area would have been well lit, which means your door was shut. Tell me if I'm wrong on that. Your door was actually shut when you were doing it. Because if anybody in that apartment complex had walked out and saw you running those machines in there, they would have basically filed a complaint with you with the landlord. So your door is shut. And if you got on a crack, that's not enough. Keep talking about ultrafine particles. That's the last thing you want to hear. You do not want to hear about ultrafine particles. That's not something you want to hear. You can't see that. Yep, he got it already, I guarantee you. He's got, let's see, released by heat ferments can cause short-term symptoms like headaches, throat irritation. This is the first sign, basically, you're starting the lung disease. Because I went through the same thing. I went through that, the exact same thing, in the mold. And I didn't even see it. I never saw the mold. I breathed it in, but never saw it. It was there the entire time. Ventilation in poor apartments, multiple printers can lead to buildup of harmful emissions. Jeez, man. Now, what he's going to do is you're going to ignore this. I know you're going to. Fernando, you got lung disease. Take it from a person who knows. I know. I went through all this crap already before. I know. You breathed in a lot of stuff. Like I said, my basement downstairs is bigger than your basically living room. And I breathed in enough to almost kill me. You literally, I don't know what you're going to be at in the next couple of months or so. You're going to be in a bad shape. You breathed in a lot of that stuff, man. And you're over those machines. There's nowhere you can go in that apartment. What I read is there any place you can go and not? No, you literally can't go anywhere. Those particles are embedded in your place. So they're in your ceiling, they're in your floor. You basically have a hazard zone going on in there right now. You're breathing all this stuff in. I'm curious. I got to know this one today. All right. I got to find about this right here. This is actually really interesting. I had no idea they did this kind of damage. That's why it would explain my buddy walking around with a hazmatic suit on. Like, ain't you going a little too far? You have no idea. Yeah, I see now. You've got to be kidding me. You ran this stuff? Avoid sleeping in the same room? If people sleep in the same room with these things. Oh, man. There's going to be so many people dying of cancer on these machines. These things give off heat. Of course they give off heat because you're melting plastic. That's why they give off heat. And then the exhaust system to push this stuff out of the window. And then on top of that, where is that going to? Because that can get you in trouble too. Because then basically you're causing damage to, you got environmental will get involved in that. They have to get involved in that. Because you're pushing chemicals outside your apartment. That's like running a meth lab in there. I'm surprised he hasn't blown himself up yet. Other toxins from if these 3D printers fumes or fine particles, as he keep bringing it up, fine particles, that's dangerous. You can't see fine particles. It's like COVID. Someone sneezes in the air, you get those droplets that pop up in there. You can't see them, but they're actually there. That's literally what that thing does. How many windows do you need for proper ventilation to run 3D printers in a small apartment? You're in a lot of trouble, Fernando. This is bad. For proper ventilation for 3 printers in a small apartment, you need a robust ventilation system. You don't have that. or central ventilation exposure. Exchange per hour. Here's a duct system outside. At least 6 air changers. You don't have none of that. You don't have none of that at all, period. That's what my buddy has. He has that equipment. And there, he don't have any of that. Plus at least 6 air changes per hour in a room. Are you? Wow. Yeah, you hung yourself, man. Let me see. The ventilator is closed for each printer. Let's see. For proper ventilation for 3 printers in a small apartment, you need a robust ventilation system, such as a ventilated enclosure for each printer, or so basically each printer has to be in a ventilated enclosure, which means they have to be in a box unit that allows whatever's in there, inside of there, coming off that printer, to be pushed someplace else. So if he had each one of them in a box, still, again, he's not zoned for it. That's another problem too. He's running an apartment. And he's running a business. No license. This is why they require you to have a license. This is why business has to be zoned for it. But say if you're running a business in an apartment that's not zoned for it, you can put other people at risk. This is why you have to have a license. When you get your license, there's 3 applications you have to fill on the application. And one of them is a sanitation you have to go through. You have to know exactly what you're doing in there. Oh my God. Enclosure for each printer or one central ventilation to enclose exhaust ducts to the outside, plus at least 6 air changers per hour in the room. You're not doing any of that. The single open living Well, there's another problem coming up now. You might not be around long enough. You can sit there and go, oh, you threatened my life, because he goes carrying on me all the time. Nobody, you killed yourself. You literally did. That stuff right there is crazy at the end of the day. You don't have enough ventilation to run 3 printers, and I just read through all that stuff. You're in a lot of danger, man. And those particles that come off that machine, they keep saying micro. That's not a word you want to hear on something that may be coming off a machine. You breathed all that stuff in. How long does it take for you to become sick off a 3D printer for how much you to breathe in? You keep pointing up poor ventilation. He doesn't have poor ventilation. Symptoms include headache, nausea, dizziness. I know you got that. Headache and dizziness. Irritation of eyes and throat. How harmful are the chemicals that come off a 3D printer? Yeah, if you send me dangerous. Well, I can tell you one thing. Anyone operating at the end of the day, unless you got a place you're wearing suits and all that stuff. My buddy got his stuff all zipped up when he's in there, and you're not running that proper equipment. Yes, this is what he got on. He's running one of these. He's got that whole thing set up on. See that right there? See that burning plastic that comes off of there? That's the danger right there. That's what you breathe in. That's the stuff they're breathing in. Just like when you take a match and you burn plastic, that smell that comes off, that's what you're breathing in. That stuff is dangerous, man. If he's running that machine in our unit, they told him he'll take procedures and make sure. But I have to make sure he's in another unit. There's no way where I can have that next to my unit. We can be in a building, we have to be in a separate unit. But he's an expert in the field, so he's good. I trust him. But I still rather have him in the other department of the building. I don't want that thing anywhere near me. If you ever suffer from lung disease, you know what I'm talking about. That's dangerous. That's crazy. Never in the world. No. No. What's going on, you unit? You're off? Okay. Nope. No way in the world. We treat that section like I'm a research lab for COVID. Should you be wearing proper masks when you're working with a 3D printer? You gotta wear a respirator. You know what that thing is at the end of the day? That's something that connects in one section, another one. That's what you're supposed to be using. It's a plastic. I have no idea why and who thought in their right mind that was a good idea. Because again, you're burning plastic. That's what you're doing. Heating up and melting plastic. Of course that gives off a chemical. Do you have any idea the poison that's in plastic if you breathe that stuff in? And it's all small particles that are in the air? You guys are dead. So question. If these chemicals, these small particles, are transparent all over the environment, how much of that is going through the window? And what if the air is blowing in your window? Because air in your window doesn't blow out all the time. Unless you got some kind of fan up there that can draw whatever's in there. But you have to have it redirected. You have to channel it through there. Which means that the guy said if you had them in their own compartments where they can print behind glass, and you had an exhaustion system on the back that basically can push whatever fumes in there out the window, but still didn't cost you in trouble, because again, that'd be basically poison in the environment. But they're operating these machines and they're just having this stuff blow all over the place. That's like me operating an air sprayer. If I operate an air sprayer and open up a window, I'm just allowing fresh air to go in. I'm still going to have a particle of paint all over the place. That's why you got to cover everything. If you look at it, you got this kind of thin paint particles all over the place. You got to clean everything down that you don't have it wrapped in plastic. Doesn't mean everything is going to go out the window. That's crazy. safety measures when working with a 3D printer, especially those using high temperature and flammable powders, which proper ventilation, and most importantly, control and the layers, extra layers of protection against hazards. Anyway, none of that. Let me see. Is there any 3D printing plastics that are safe? That's dangerous. Can all 3D printing materials give you lung damage? That's lung damage. That is literally lung damage. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. It says one thing, but does another thing. What do you think happens if it gets into your lungs? It's called lung damage. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Not all 3D printing materials carry the same risk of lung damage, but all plastic can include a safety paper releases and something and particles that can penetrate deep into the lungs. That'll be lung damage. Duh. That's literally what that is. If anything connects into your lungs, smoke, all that stuff, you know what I mean? That's how you get lung disease and lung cancer and all that stuff. Any of that stuff gets into your lungs, you're in trouble. It's in your lungs, it's definitely going to get into your bloodstream. So it says right here, an ABS also is more toxic than some sort of different materials. They're not harmful. The ABS is generally considered to be more dangerous than PAL, and both are risky for respiratory health, especially in poor ventilation. Right there, both of them. So it doesn't really make a difference. If you're using any one of these plastics, you're still going to end up getting that lung disease. I swear. I've been on the air for a long time, and I still don't understand how people can be so stupid. It's like you going out and burning a bunch of plastic bottles in the middle of your home. And just go over and just take a whiff, a good breathe of it all. I'm going to tell you something. You're going to see a lot of people coming up with cancer, lung disease, nerve damage, blood poisoning from these machines. And enough protests at the end of the day, these machines are going to be banned from basically from everyday people. They're going to be for companies only, I guarantee you. Because they don't have the proper ventilation and equipment to run them, I guarantee you. Because they're already going to ban them already for the ghost guns problems they're having with them. But he has a full company. He also has a license in chemical. It's a chemical license. He's good. When I asked him at the other day, I said, would you run one of these out of your house? He's like, oh, heck no. I would never run one of these out of my house. And what, kill myself? No. These are dangerous. Yeah, don't die. May cause respiratory problems. Well, I'm going to tell you something, people. Good luck on all that. Jamie, hope you're in one piece, because still, we're going to sue you either way. We got to. We're going to sue you. You did dumb stuff, so you got to be that. I'll be challenging your company in November. In November, we'll put a challenge out. We're not going to bother a challenge. We're just going to serve you for court. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go file a lawsuit against you and see you in court. Started off at $80,000. Got to go. I ain't crying on my channel. Nice guys on my channel.